Hi, this is Becca.
And this is Kyla.
And
you are listening to Chatterbox.
Wow, guys, let me just say thank you so much for all of the help that you have given just telling your friends about us and also clicking on our videos. Our views are really getting up there. Our Scientology episode is doing absolutely fantastic, so thank you so much for all of your support, whether you are a new listener or a returning listener. We do our best to bring you some insightful content, and we want to keep growing our community of free thinkers who are, you might be on the same page as us or you might not, you might have other opinions about what we have to say. That's fine. Put it in the comments. We
That's
love
what
it.
it's for.
We love it. We want your feedback, so please leave us a like.
We wouldn't be
comment.
humans if we had all the same opinions, essentially. We each need to have our own thoughts and feelings, so that's okay.
Yeah, and we want to foster a respectful community where people can be respectful of other people's opinions and still be in the same circle, you know what I mean? And there's just some things that we're not, you'll see as we go along, okay? We're going to be reviewing so many conspiracies, true crime,
just random shit, really.
Like, we just review whatever we are interested in. So if you like that, please maybe leave us a comment on a topic that you'd want us to cover. We need more suggestions. So you could always email us at chatterboxcorner@gmail.com. We would love to have a suggestion and we can look into that, add it to our topic list. So the more interaction that we get with our listeners, it's going to be easier for other people to find us and for our community to grow. So hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, actually, never mind, there is something else I need to talk about. So before we get into it, I went out last night, okay? And I went to a show, and let's just say it got pretty crazy. I'm tired. I'm here and I'm doing it, but I am most definitely tired. I was out a little late, and it was way past my bedtime, and we saw some good music. I experienced a lot of things, and I'm tired, but it's Easter, so we're doing it. We have to do shit with our families later on, so
Maybe. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I'm gonna be doing an Easter egg hunt with my son, also with my brother, and I don't even have all the Easter eggs ready yet, but I'm not gonna be doing that many. Like, I feel
you
like,
don't really probably need to this year, essentially.
yeah, he's not even a year and a half, so I feel like he's just going to throw the eggs, but
Well, maybe before you, let him go grab them, let him see what's inside the egg, show him that he can open it, and then he'll maybe be more obligated to go.
yeah.
Let him see, look, and then go point at them and how they're all scattered. Let him, for his first one, open it, show it to him, type thing.
Yeah, I'm most definitely going to be doing
but
something.
But maybe that might mess up because he's going to try to open them each individually. So, next one would be, okay, well, let's put it in here, then we'll do it later. That's another whole other step, so never mind, I don't know.
I got, graham crackers because I did get him, 2 suckers because he does like suckers, but, I don't give him that stuff all the time. And he doesn't even finish the whole thing. He really just, licks on it until he, eventually throws it on the ground, and then I'm like, okay, that's going in the trash.
Yeah, you're not gonna pick it up later.
No, that's what he tries to do, so, I got him 2 suckers because I know he's only gonna take, a few licks of it, whatever, and then I got him some graham crackers. So I was gonna put some graham crackers in there.
Oh, that's cute. So I don't know if I'm really doing anything today. I might see my family. I might not. You don't have to question that or ask me why. I have my own reasons. But I have a positive thing that is coming up. I do leave for another vacation, so I'm excited. I just want to put that in there. Woo woo.
That's not next weekend, but the next week. So 2 weekends.
Uh, it's like it'll be 10 days. It's 10 days away, so it's less than 2 weeks.
Oh shit. Where are you going again?
I'm flying to New York, and then I'm going on a cruise to Bermuda. I'm
You,
so ready.
you know, it's kind of crazy.
What?
My brain is like still in that glitch in the Matrix thing, and I was like, I thought you already went. Like,
Oh my god. Oh no. Today's a weird day.
dude, talking about glitches in the Matrix earlier, and like she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to Bermuda," and like my brain was like, "I thought you already went there."
Did I? Did it go good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's all that matters. I think it's gonna be very relaxing. I'm ready to dance, drink, and sleep, and see new things. But yeah.
I don't even know when my next vacation is. Oh, it's in June. We're Outer Banks. Are you still going?
Yeah, I know. Look, I was like, because
We were
it's
gonna have at least one
it's
little
because of
vacation
Trapper's
thing.
fucking job.
Oh.
I like his. Okay, so, sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just reiterate this whole thing I just said. It's not because of Trapper's job. It's because of Trapper not planning his PTO and sick time accordingly, like I had told him originally when we planned all these vacations at the beginning of the year. I give him a date. I give him all the hours of PTO he has and sick time that he'll accrue, and he still fucks it up. So we could have made this work if he had done it the right way, but he didn't. So now I don't get to fucking go to Outer Banks. So now we have to do a smaller trip closer.
Damn, I'm like just finding out about this like right now. Like I'm
I wasn't
actually kind
even.
of sad.
I know. I wasn't even gonna. I didn't want to tell you on this.
Damn, that just came up like so naturally.
I wasn't even gonna. I honestly, we just kind of have been figuring it out here like this week too. So I wanted to tell you in person, but
Sad.
me too.
Damn.
I
I thought we
just
were gonna at least have one vacation
Trapper
together.
killed me when he. I don't know. Yeah, trust me, it was a whole argument. I was really mad at him for days.
Damn. Well, I mean, shit happens. Like, I really
But
don't
we're
have.
still gonna go on like a smaller trip, like go camping or
Yeah, we could like
go to the Red River Gorge for the weekend.
That would be nice, yeah. But the only thing is that like
Trust me,
I would have to leave work on
you should know from
Saturday.
everybody how badly I want to have a vacation because I gave you so much shit for it.
Mhm.
So do you know how much it still bothers me. I really do wish we could make it work.
To go on at least one vacation together.
Trust me, I really maybe you can go to Shenandoah with us in October. Are you busy?
The thing is like I don't really have like extra vacation time. Like
We're going like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday or something. It's a small trip. And we're taking Oliver. You could bring Titan.
I'm off Sunday, Monday, just not Tuesday.
You could drive home Monday night. It's only 4 hours. Oh wait, Shenandoah's even closer. Yeah, it's like about 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, that's fine.
You could probably go with us. I mean, you'd have to drive separately if you're leaving. If work.
I mean, yeah, that's fine though.
Because we wouldn't leave till Tuesday night. Are you sure you couldn't call sick?
Need sick time for a few events. Like
So like how I do with Trapper, you plan it around it. Yeah.
well, like God, I fucking hate that. Like my sick time, I only get one sick day every 2 months.
I know yours isn't it.
Yeah, it's stupid. So I specifically need some for certain days,
I
which
get
I
it.
will not tell the days because I will not rile
honestly
myself out. But
not. I was honestly waiting to tell you even today, in hopes that it could change and it could go back and that we could still do it. In hopes that like, oh, like we can't, and then I'm like, oh yeah, we can. So I'm hoping that somehow, some way, we can still do it.
it would be nice.
Kevin is gonna split stuff with us. He's supposed to be going with us. It's not. It's not about the money. It's about the time that Trapper has to figure out with everything, and it just is annoying. It really sucks.
Yeah, like specifically have to do the same thing, and it's so dumb. Like,
But I have to work with him, and I specifically told him, like, if he did it the right way, he could make it work, and essentially he did not do it the right way, and that's why it's not working out. Like, we can't even go on this cruise that we wanted to go to in December, but we're gonna just fly to Mexico, make it a small trip where he literally only misses one day. So it's like, he doesn't have anything fucking left. That motherfucker does not know how to do his time. If I would have known he did that, God, I thought he did it right. I'm pissed. Because once it's done and done, we've already went to Hawaii. He already did that. Already did the January cruise, did that. All PTO. He didn't split it up at all.
oh my god.
He could have used some of that with sick time, and all that could have been like 2 to 3 days of PTO that he just wasted away. You get what I mean, though?
Yeah.
That's where he went wrong. We could have. Trust me, I'm still frustrated about it, actually. But I've moved on and accepted it, tried to accept it, and like I said, maybe it'll change. But, yeah.
Yeah, I would be frustrated too. Because I also did the same
Trying to be
thing.
positive, because I was really mad about it, and I just don't want to have negative energy.
Watch him, like, listen to this later.
I hope he fucking does. Because I told him, I bashed him, so I mean, it's like, if you would have done it right. I'm sure I just said a bunch of shit.
He's gonna, like, lay it out in the comments. Like,
Because it's like, why are you just now putting forth effort to look at all your time and everything when I gave you all these dates months ago and you're supposed to get it all in order? And like, last year he did such a good job. He separated all the sick time and PTO. He has mentally fucked it up this time. He is fucking confused. Everything he's like, oh, what is this? Like, he just doesn't know. He doesn't know. But I don't know. I said you need to put more effort and care into like the vacations because I'm like, I made it so easy for him. I gave him the motherfucking dates. I gave him how much PTO, how much sick time he would accrue over the many times, and I added it all up. I mean, I made it easy. Mm-hmm. And he still messed up. I'll just end it at that.
Well, honestly, I feel like I'd be doing the same shit with Eric, so sometimes, like, there's,
he did so good last year, so I thought I didn't have to worry about it.
Sometimes I feel like there's, like, one person in a relationship that, like, severely fucks things up.
He never does,
and, like, and, like, that is me.
But he doesn't fuck shit up like that. He literally never be... He'll be forgetful, but usually he's on shit. Kind of. You gotta really say stuff to him. Remind him.
Felt there? Which, by the way,
I don't really feel like...
Trapper is Kyla's boyfriend, if you didn't know, after all of this time.
I feel like it's very similar with men. You gotta repeat things because, like, they forget. And I see fucking videos about it all the time about, like, oh, you ready to go? And then they're like, oh, where? And it's like, oh, you told him fucking last week fucking 5 times. And they're like, okay. And then you tell them again, and they forget. That's Trapper. That's other men. I mean, I'm not saying it's every man, but it's most that I've encountered in my life. So, and I'm 28. So, you add that up, how many I could have met within each year.
Apparently, to Eric, I am that person. He says I am very forgetful, which is probably true.
Too, though. But, like, if you have an event, you're going to remember it. Like, the important things, right?
You know, there is this guy who we have seen out, like, so many times, and we saw him out last night, and he literally never remembers us. And, like, he was just like, oh, what's your guys' names? Like, we've, like, met, like, we've known each other for, like, 5 years. Like, we have been to so many fucking parties, shows together, or whatever. No, and, like, he's normal. Normal dude. Just.
Frat dude.
Kind of, yeah, but he's, like, probably, like, in his, like, late 30s.
Stoner frat dude that lives with his mom in the basement. Doesn't
live with his mom, but he literally doesn't remember us. And Eric literally said, like, on our way home, he was like, his forgetfulness is fucking disrespectful. And I'm like, she's like, it's disrespectful. I've known you for like 5 fucking years. Like, I know your name. I know where you fucking live. And yet you don't know me and my face. Like, you always forget who I am. Like, he's like, that's fucking disrespectful. And I'm like, you're reading into this too much. Like, chill out.
Yeah, that's a little much.
He was a little much last
night. Yeah, you need to calm down.
It was a little much. Oh god. With my night last night.
Went from vacation to fucking
with Kyla's Kyla's relationship drama.
I don't even really think it's drama, really. We don't even really fight.
Total Drama Island this week on Kyla and Trapper.
Honestly, I speak what I feel, and feel what I speak, and that's all I have to say about that. If that, you just take that. That's all I need to say.
Hey, just
And
put it all out there, and
it.
I hope he hears this later. Thank you for listening, Trapper.
I'll show it to him, honestly. Don't play. I'm not hiding nothing. I've got nothing to hide. He knows this. I'll say this to every person if I knew. And I would tell them about this and give him shit for it. So it's nothing new. This is just me being able to talk about it again that I would probably do again to someone else. That if this situation came up in the conversation and I remembered it, I would tell somebody. Hell yeah, what I said that motherfucker did not do it. And I told him that it's just like with the never mind. Told him all the fucking time.
Oh my god.
Gave him so much shit for something else. And it's like, I will still give him shit about it to this day. Because I told him, and I told him. But yeah, I'm not going to say what it was, but.
Man, you're really just going to leave him in the dark like that?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
because.
damn.
Because. I feel bad. Because he made the mistake and he learned from it. He's paying for it, literally. Oh, God. But he's almost out of it, so it's okay. All these, like, subtext, you could think anything. That makes it funny. At least I think. Yeah, bitches. Laugh, kickle, cackle, kickle. Alright, get to the root of it all.
Okay. Yes. So without further ado, let's get into our latest topic. We are going into the history of chakras, Kundalini yoga, and then we are also going to be balancing our root chakras with you. And you'll get to that if you get through all the other important stuff first.
And men, this is for women and men, and there's not only one person that needs it.
Yes, let's tap into your spiritual side for this episode. And let's begin with the origins of chakras, and let's get into it. So, long before the chakra system was written down, it was actually oral history that was whispered in the sacred halls of ancient India, passed down through these oral traditions by sages and yogis who perceived subtle energies within the human body. And the earliest chakra philosophy is likely to emerge from the Vedic teachings from 1500 to 500 BCE. And this is where the concept of life force, which is prana, began, and also the nadis, which is the energy channels. So it was just during this time when it appeared. And then there's the Upanishads, which is around 800 to 500 BCE. Many mystical texts exploring consciousness and the inner self. It also describes energy centers that resemble chakras. However, the most detailed early written accounts came from the Yoga Upanishads, which is later deemed the Tantras, from 500 to 1300 CE, and this mapped a subtle body of intricate detail of a color system of what we can call an energy wheel. It's like they all work together in the same way, and if you have one chakra that's closed, all of the ones above it most likely have issues. There was a tantric text that was popularized in the West by Sir John Woodruff, and it's called The Serpent Power. And when it comes to the actual concept of chakras, it is speculated that not one single person actually invented them, that they were discovered through deep meditation, mass meditation, so many people meditating at one time, groups of people performing yogic practices and spiritual insights for over a millennia. So it has been speculated that not one single person just came up with it. It was a shared, not even hallucination, it was a shared energy space between many groups of people.
That's really cool.
So,
That's actually cool. Like, and it was probably easier created with that many people because it's probably harder to tap into something alone. But with together, they always say like together is more better. Like you create a higher power
mm-hmm.
energy.
Well, when it comes to how chakras affect the human body, the chakras can give you a balance of energy or an imbalance of energy. And ancient seers believe that chakras govern physical and emotional and spiritual well being. And when balanced, energy will freely flow. You will have health, you will have harmony in your body, in your mind. And when blocked or imbalanced chakras are happening, you have disruptions in your energy flow. So here are some examples of disruptions within these certain chakras of your body. So for your root chakra, if you have an imbalance, you are going to feel fearful, fearful about everything. That's dealing with a lot of like anxiety, dealing with survival issues, lower back pain, and fatigue. So this is kind of something that I read the other day, and it kind of really made me think. I'm like about to tell something like really personal right now, but when we were young, like, first of all, I'm like totally not talking shit about my parents right now. Like, my dad was like doing the best he could, but like, we were like, very budgeted as a family of, 5 kids, and we didn't just get to like eat out all the time, and we didn't get to like, just buy whatever we wanted from the store. Like, we had like a budget and stuff. And I never went hungry, but like we always had like a bare fridge, I guess. And as an adult, something that I have always done, and it's like my fridge looks like my grandma's fridge. Like there's like so much stuff in it, and I always do this. And I was reading somewhere, or it was a TikTok or something, I can't remember exactly, but they were saying that always making your fridge full is a sign of, as a child, you felt like you lacked food, or like you always had like a bare fridge or something like that. So it's almost like a survival thing now. It's just like, well, I just want my fridge to be full because like I never like had food. It's like a brain thing.
No, I get it.
And like, and I feel like I've been doing that ever since I've been an adult. Like I always make sure it's full. But like, why do I do that? Is it because I feel like I lack? Like I feel like I have to have.
I feel like you acknowledged it, so it probably is that. I mean, I have something similar. It's not food, but it's clothes. So like, no, like seriously, like I had one bra that I would wear when I was younger, and it would just get destroyed. The wire would be like hanging out. One pair of jeans, like not a lot of clothes basically. So maybe that's why like I keep a lot of my clothes, and I have a lot of clothes. Like I don't know.
I've been getting rid of a lot of my clothes steadily.
I'll get rid of it, but then I'll get more. But I'm not like overflowing. Like my room isn't like you know what I mean. But I will never not have one bra. I have fucking 10 bras. I have fucking 15 pairs of jeans. I will not ever have one pair of anything again because having to wear the same bra every day sucked. It fucking sucked. Like,
Yeah, I was honestly the same way, and I have multiple bras.
you just don't want to. It's just like the survival mode of like, I will make sure that I always have clothes. Like, even though I know I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm good. I have clothes. Fine. But now I'm in the mode of like, I like to get new stuff, but I will.
But
There's
like,
a lot of stuff I keep and I won't get rid of. Like bras and stuff.
there's a few stuff that I haven't gotten rid of from like childhood. Like my favorite like jacket when I was like 13 years old. I have volleyball jersey for when I played him as
That rain jacket is from when I played soccer when I was 12.
Oh my god. That's
It
crazy.
still has my name on it. I actually ripped off the like the hot shots on the back. This used to have a big label, but my name is still on there.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's like 15 years old or
That's
something.
crazy.
16 years old. My Jonas Brothers shirt that I have from 2008.
Oh my god.
Perfectly in mint condition. But that's not really something like me. I just would keep that because it's good quality and I don't want to get rid of them because they're nice. They don't really make a lot of nice stuff like they used to. Like,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
really tell if, like, the quality of things. Because a shirt nowadays would not last like that Jonas Brothers shirt. But I feel like it's a similar thing. Like, I don't think I ever was, like, not having a lot of food in my fridge. And my mom went to the church a lot. But I do have an issue with looking at expired dates. And, like, I'm picky about what I'll eat.
Mhm.
I used to not eat leftovers, but now I will.
See, I have gotten into eating leftovers more, but only at work. I can't eat them like the next day for dinner. Like, hell no.
I think I had leftover for dinner one time, but usually we don't need to. We'll just eat it for lunch.
Hmm.
But yeah, I can understand the survival thing, though. I do. I've always thought about that with the clothes thing, with like certain things.
Mhm. I never really recognized that. Maybe that is like partly my problem. And then like there's other things that like I learned during this research that kind of made me think. There's a lot that goes into this, but like a lot of this made me really kind of look at myself and my own issues. And as we keep going down the line with these chakras, I feel like it's going to open up a lot of like new paths for consciousness to expand within myself and hopefully within you. And it's really crazy how these energy centers are really related to a lot of things that we all deal with on a daily basis, whether you don't deal with maybe the root chakra specifically, but you might deal with the heart chakra, and that's, we'll get to that in a minute. But for example, it's you're dealing with loneliness, so loneliness of mind and heart, like you always feel like you're alone. We'll get to it down the line. But the next chakra that we will go over is the sacral chakra, which is if you have an imbalance of the sacral chakra, you're going to be experiencing emotional instability. You're going to be experiencing reproductive issues and a lack of creativity. And when it comes to this chakra, for the longest time, I feel like that was actually closed within me. When I worked my second shift job, when I was like 2:30 to 11 p.m. for like 2 years. That job was, it grew me in a way, like it made me grow up. It made me have to, I had to go to an office. I had to do the whole talking on the phone thing all day, customer service, having to like, other people are around me hearing my conversations. Like I had to like, it was a whole thing. And I had to, be important and send emails and all that stuff. But during that time, I'm not even kidding you, I would have dreams of doing Excel, like just typing up Word documents on Excel. Dreams. And I'd wake up, I'm like, oh my god, I was typing in my dreams last night. Like, it's terrible. And I felt like I couldn't, like, create things. And I was not doing poetry. I was not listening to music very much. I was listening to a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube, but like my creativity was stifled. So like it felt like I couldn't like focus on doing just like stuff for fun. I couldn't even like barely journal because my mind was always so filled with all these other conversations that I was having to have with people. But now my current job, I get to speak freely and I don't appeal to like a group of people around me. Like I had to sit there all day, so I had to be, tolerable and nice and act like I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But like at my job now, like it's not like that at all. Like we're just like joking around with each other all day.
That's nice, though. You don't want to be in an environment where you have to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, and like in the office, like there really is energy that's like tolerated and energy that's just not. And I feel like, I guess that's any space, but specifically in the office, like there are certain things that you cannot do. Like there's certain things you cannot talk about because like everybody be talking about everybody in the office.
Yeah, I wouldn't be wanting to put my business out there anyway with anybody to just be hearing what the fuck I'm talking about because it ain't nobody's business with my life. in what I'm doing.
I told some life stories that was like going on with me, but like I tried not to be too personal.
I used to be more personal at work, but now I'm just like, they don't give a shit.
Now I feel like at my current job, I'm just like, I'm myself, whether it annoys people or not. Because I'm not going to hold back who I am just because
No.
somebody doesn't like it or appreciate my energy. Like, that doesn't mean I have to hold back.
No,
Like,
no, no, no.
I'm happy.
Just because they're not like you doesn't mean you have to stop being the way you are.
And like, some guy at work the other day, literally just on Saturday, was like, "What are you smoking?" And I was like, I ain't smoking nothing. I didn't smoke before work. Like, I was just fucking happy.
I'd be like, whatever the fuck you are, obviously.
Yeah. And I was just, I'm high on life. And he was just, life ain't that high. Like,
I'm like, well, obviously you're on a different wavelength than me, and I'm sorry.
yeah, and I was like, I'm sorry that I'm happy with my life. And he was like, you are one of the most happiest people I know. And he was just, it bothers
People
me.
that aren't as happy and want to be happy but can't be are envious. I feel like people that are happy and bubbly and they want to tear that away from you. And I've had friends tell me like, don't ever let anybody, like my friend has told me, she told me this, she's like, don't ever let anybody change who you are, the light that you bring. Like, do not let people dim that light because people will try to come in and they will try to rip that away because they don't like how light you are and how nice you can be and how bubbly you could be. And people almost, they just don't want to believe it. They really think you're fake. I mean, I've been told that.
And
Someone told me that I thought I was fake when they first met me because they thought I was so nice. And I'm like, oh. And then she told me about this. She's like, I was wrong. You really are like you are.
I remember this conversation, and honestly, that exactly is the perfect example of emotional instability, is you not being able to accept someone's energy for what it is and trying to twist it to like your own narrative. That's emotional instability.
Like you're making them seem annoying for their personality when in reality they're just being who they are. And you can accept them for who they are. And I've always told people that, like, I'm the type of person, I can be friends with many types of personalities because I can accept that personality for what it is and I understand them for who they are. Some people cannot accept that. And some people cannot be friends with certain people because they can't accept it. Like, I can be friends with a lot of different personalities and I can kind of atone to it. Some people really can't adapt. And I see that this is very much often. People just can't and they won't. But it's more like adapting and understanding that person because you're just gonna not like them because of they might do something a certain way that you in the reality I don't even view it that way, but some people really do view certain things in a wrong way and they take it the wrong way within that person. And I see and I'll watch it happen. And I feel that and I always stick up for those people. I'm like, they're a really good person. Like, and then afterwards I'll see people that were talking about this person unsure and then they like that person afterwards. It doesn't make no fucking sense.
See, like,
I can see them for who they are, though.
Some people have the belief that other people have ulterior motives with them. So they feel this person, what is this person trying to get from me? And that's not always the case. I'm one of those people where I'm not trying to get anything from anyone. I'm really just in my own lane at this point in my life.
I don't want anything from nobody. I don't like asking for help.
I don't like asking for help, and I also just don't appreciate talking to people who just like don't want my energy. Like they want to make fun of it or
they
whatever.
act like they want it, and then when you give it to them, they're like not really they're ignoring it, and it's like, why did you even ask me?
I feel like at this point in my life, I'm very just automatically genuine. I'm not changing my energy when I like go to work or when I go home. Like there's not like a shift in my energy. Like I am
who I am.
I'm a goofy personality. I'm always cracking jokes at work trying to get through the day, like just trying to be positive because like being negative gets you literally nowhere. And I'm not going to let other negative people affect my energy and I'm going to protect my energy.
Yeah.
So, and this also has created this spark of creativity within me. I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I didn't have a spark of creativity. Like, I'm just saying, I've been holding back on doing this for years because I was scared to put myself out there. And I was scared of being in that creative
I
flow.
think it's nice to have
But
someone to push you, which is what we have done for each other, is to keep up with it and to push each other to be on top of doing it, because we both wanted something similar to this. I would say, like, I wouldn't say particularly like, oh, like I know I wanted a podcast, but I know I wanted to talk and I know I wanted people to listen to me because I have so much to say, and I feel like people in my normal life don't really give a shit when I talk, and I feel like I just want someone to want to hear what I want to have to say,
yeah, and I mean,
because I'm just like, you know.
our views are getting up there, so I mean, we're spreading the word, and people are getting interested. So, which thank you for listening, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for listening to me and actually like being interested in what I want to say, because I have a lot of opinions and you might like them.
Yeah, or you might not. Either way,
And that's okay. I want to hear what you don't like, because I am a person who is accepting that, not that I'm not right, but I can accept that there's another opinion in that conversation. Like,
yeah, and it's just like all about being respectful of each other's opinions, because there's a lot of people who don't respect other people who think differently than them. They can't even have any relationship at all. And if that's your vibe, that I mean, certain things are warranted, yes. So we are again not trying to push any agenda with you
no.
guys. Like this podcast is purely
Just to talk and get it out.
yeah, just to talk, and then you guys are part of our conversation because you're listening in. So
So have the opinion and don't be like people off of The Giver, where everybody has to think the same.
yeah. Well, our next chakra that we are going to talk about, if you have an imbalance in your solar plexus chakra, you're going to be dealing with low self-esteem, digestive problems, and dealing with like power struggles within your relationships. So that with that solar plexus, other examples of issues that you're going to face when having an imbalance in your solar plexus is you're going to have a hard time trusting people. You're going to be dealing with a lot of fear, intimidation, self confidence issues, self respect issues. You're going to have issues with taking responsibility of your own decisions. You're going to be very sensitive to criticism, and you're going to try to protect your personal honor. So this is the thing that makes you get defensive. That's the word I'm looking for. You get defensive when somebody tries to bring up your issues and you're like, "No, I'm not doing that. No,
You
I'm not
can't be
doing
accepting that there could be something wrong, and you're in denial of that there could be something that is blocking you to be, on a better wavelength. And if you're just in the denial, then you're always going to be in that wavelength, in that loop. And there's a lot of people that are like that are in denial and don't want to. It's more or less admitting that they might have a problem, which there's not any problem with having a problem.
Dude, that literally happened last night while we were out.
Like, it's okay to fix it.
We were on different vibes. We just were. I don't know. I literally feel like that exact thing was happening last night to me. And I saw a lot of shit last night, to be honest. It was really crazy. I wish that I could just like air it all out right here, but I can't. But
We need another podcast for that. We need like a gossip podcast. Like,
oh my god.
like like another segment where it's like a short 30-minute gossip sesh.
Maybe like a Patreon where you could just get
One
to
that
hear, like details about our life.
like one that like the men don't know.
But you have to pay for Patreon though, so.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we could create another separate podcast. The schnazzle.
Yeah, would be nice. A lot of shit went down last night though, and it's still.
We can do also subtext words, like you can do a fairy tale story and like make it a story, like the end.
That's a great idea, actually.
And like a subtext, that way like only we would know. Just kidding. But you would get the idea.
Well, when it comes to the next chakra, we have the heart chakra. If you have an imbalance in your heart chakra, you're going to be dealing with issues of loneliness, heart and circulation issues, and the inability to love. So I do feel, which by the way, other issues, you're going to be dealing with love and hatred. You're going to be dealing with resentment, grief, being self-centered, maybe a little narcissistic. You're going to be dealing with forgiveness issues, compassion. You're not going to have much hope or trust in people. So that is all issues of the heart chakra. So maybe that one resonates with you. And here's our idea for what we're going to be doing with this whole segment. So today we are going over the chakra history as well as balancing our root chakras. But in our next episodes, we're going to be going through and doing the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. But we're just going to do just those chakras, just a little intro, and then all of the questions that we're going to do to balance them. So this one's going to be a little longer, but our next ones are going to be maybe a little shorter. We shall see how this goes, but just so you're aware of what we're doing. So when it comes to dealing with your throat chakra, when in an imbalance, you're going to be dealing with communication issues, thyroid imbalances, and throat tension, which my throat is very tense after last night. I think I lost my voice. So my voice feels so hoarse. I'm literally, you can probably hear it. So I'm sorry, but it's hard doing this every week. But we really be out here doing it. So give me a tip. Thanks. I'm gonna tip me on Cash App.
A tip as in a comment and a subscribe.
Yes. That also counts. When it comes to imbalances in your third eye, you're going to lack intuition. You're going to have a lot of headaches, confusion, vertigo. You're also going to be dealing with feelings of inadequacy. You're not going to be open to the ideas of others, not going to have the ability to learn from your experience. And then you'll be creating the same experience for yourself kind of like over and over again because you didn't learn the first time.
It's like you're in a loop. Literally a loop. That's what I call a lot of things when people are stuck in things. You're in a loop and nothing is changing. You're not progressing. You're staying in that cycle and it's trapping you in a sense, I feel like.
And this is when it comes to your third eye chakra. So just think about that. Like if you experience a lot of those things, maybe you do have a block in your third eye chakra, which you're going to have to get to that episode with us down the line. And then with the last chakra, if you have a imbalance in your crown, you're going to be experiencing spiritual disconnection, depression, migraines. You're going to experience a lack of selflessness. You're not going to be able to see the bigger picture of things. And you're also going to have less inspiration, less spirituality. And some people really just aren't geared towards the spiritual. And that's okay. But we like to entertain the idea that there is a spiritual part to us. And the spiritual part, which is unseen, is felt by many, many groups of people. And even though this originated in India, this stuff resonates with me personally. It's really ancient knowledge that's been passed down through the millennia. And I feel like a lot of people are unsure about how they feel about yoga.
It's just taking the time to connect with yourself because people, it's just like with working out. You expect results right away. You have to work for it. You have to flex that part of your body. Like, you have to train it. Like, your body isn't open to that yet. If it is closed, you need to consistently practice and you have to be mindful of it. And you can't just, you have to really want it. Like, I don't know, if you're not serious then and you're not trying it and not consistently keeping up with it, then I mean you're not going to attain it first try. Just like you're not going to get your fat ass first workout. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
and somebody said something to me a few weeks ago, which I have literally not done yet, but it's really been on my mind. I really feel like he influenced my thinking. And I really feel like I need to start doing this. I didn't do it last week, but it's literally been on my mind. So I've met him a few times at the bar. His name's Ricky. I'm not going to say his actual real name, but we'll call him Ricky.
Ricky Spanish. Call him Ricky Spanish.
I was thinking about Rick from Rick and Morty.
Ricky, you know that's from? I'm looking away from her right now. It's from American Dad. It's one of Roger's personas. You've ever seen it? Do you want me to show you a video really quick? That way you can really.
I probably have seen it. It's just not ringing a bell right
but
now.
But it's gonna hit you.
I am running on like 0% brain power currently.
No, just wait.
Costume? Well, what character is it for? I can't remember. Cheers! I'm taking this show into town.
Oh my god.
It would be like Ricky Spanish.
Ricky Spanish. So, I honestly don't.
Oh my god.
I honestly don't remember that episode. Through this series, we are going to be helping you balance your chakras as we balance ours. You shall see. Healing your chakras have multiple methods. So you can heal your chakras through yoga, meditation, and sound therapy and Reiki. And this restores equilibrium, which, by the way, we need to get back to what I was actually going to say, which I don't know how we got sidetracked. But the guy who I met at the bar was
because I said Ricky Spanish.
Okay, yes. So he told me that every day he does 5 minutes of meditation. So as soon as he wakes up, he said he does not sleep with his phone in the room. He'll set his alarm outside of the bedroom, and he doesn't sleep with his phone in his room. And he said every morning when he wakes up, he'll go turn off his alarm, go sit back in the room on the floor, Indian style. And he was like, I just sit there for 5 minutes. And he was like, I can now focus on things. I can read again because I'm taking this time to sit and just clear my mind. And like he said, the mind is like a puppy. So you always have to keep getting it and bringing it back to the center. So he was like, what I try to do is I try to focus on counting my breaths, and I also try to focus on like visualizing the tree of life. So he was like, I'll sit there and I try not to think about anything else but to focus on just those things. And he said that now that he does that for 5 minutes a day, now he can read for hours. And he's like, I never used to be able to read. But he was like, I think it's now because I can actually hone in my energy, not do anything, not listen to anything, but just right when I wake up, turn my alarm off, sit there for 5 minutes on the ground, just nothing, just silence. And it's really made me think like maybe I should try to do that because I do wake up late. Like this whole winter, I wake up late. I'll set my alarms. I don't get up when my alarms are going off. So I snooze for the next like 8 to 12 minutes. Then I'm scrambling to get my shit ready and get out the door and get ready for work or whatever. I'm always barely there on time. I normally fucking clock in like at like 8:01, 8:02 like every day. Like I'm so bad. Like I should leave earlier, but I just don't have the discipline when especially when it's like cold outside. I'd have no desire to want to get out of bed. I just want to lay there until the very last second. Like instead of getting up and getting ready and doing the right thing and not rushing. So
I just sit and clean sometimes. I'm like, I should be getting ready for work, but I'm cleaning up. It makes me late a lot.
Oh my god.
I've been cleaning my house up before I leave. I'm like, shit, I need to do this. I'm like, oh my god, it's already this time. I'm like, I need to be getting ready. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Dude, my issue is I'm just not disciplined, and I do need to be more disciplined. More discipline would actually really benefit my life in a lot of ways.
You're already disciplined in other ones, so maybe tone down on the discipline in the other areas and put it forth energy elsewhere.
Yeah, most definitely need to do that. But when it comes to modern science does not validate chakras directly, and studies on the biofield energy, which they call acupuncture meridians. This is an example of a biofield energy. And this suggests that there are subtle energy systems that do influence the health. And we do, later on, have some medical proof of that. But the chakra system is not just an ancient history, it is a living wisdom that has evolved through the millennia, through oral traditions, mystical experiences, modern adaptations, and whether you've heard a metaphor or you've seen a change in your own metaphysical reality, there are many impactful events that can happen when you decide to take these holistic health measures seriously. So the Vedic teachings is the foundation for Hindu spirituality. Long before there was the written word, knowledge was carried through oral traditions. So they were passed down through the sages of history, and some of this knowledge was carried through the sacred hymns of the Vedas, which came from, they say, ancient forest within ancient India. And they were memorized and recited by the rishis, who are the seers, and they said that they would hear these Vedas, these sacred hymns, when in deep states of meditation, and they would receive divine revelations, talking about the seers, the rishis, and they would use this philosophy as the foundation of Hinduism. So, the Vedic period, 1500 to 500 BCE, an era of fire rituals, cosmic hymns. So, talking about, nature and spirituality, and man being connected to nature, man and woman. And there was also a quest for cosmic order. The four Vedas are the Rig Veda. I'm saying this wrong. Rig Veda. This is the oldest containing hymns of the deities of Agni, which is fire, Indra, the storm god, and Soma, the divine nectar. Then we have the Yaruveda, which is the part of the Vedic period where they did a lot of ritual formulas for sacrifices. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Then we have the Samaveda, which is the melodic chants, the ums, the lams. There's many different chants that you can do, and some people don't believe in the power of chanting. I personally think that it's more powerful doing it with a group of people than just doing it by yourself. I feel like the energy is more amplified when doing it with a group of people.
That dang yoga session at Astral that one year was crazy. It was the only thing I've ever really had to where I was like really like.
Yeah, I've done it in a group setting and I've done it by myself, and I really do feel like it does take more power when two people do it together. But I do keep thinking about this. So, I mean, I was raised in church, and this is something that I keep thinking about. And they say that, like, Jesus was a prophet, he was a spiritual teacher, and he would always say, when more than two people are gathered in my name, then your prayers are basically amplified. I'm totally paraphrasing. But that philosophy is basically what I'm describing when it comes to chanting. So maybe you experience it differently. If so, put it in the comments. We want to hear about it. And then there's the Atharvaveda, which is the focus on the spells, the healing mantras, and the proto-yogic practices. So the Vedas spoke of prana, which is your life force, the nadis, your energy channels, and the subtle body, which is basically the concept of the chakras, which was not fully formed, but instead focused on external rituals of fire offerings to invoke divine blessings. So seekers who turned inward experienced a new wave of spirituality, and from this arose the Upanishads. So the Upanishads is the dawn of inner mysticism. From 800 to 500 BCE, the sages grew weary of external rituals and sought direct spiritual realization. And the Upanishads was an emerged secret teachings that explored the Brahman, which is the ultimate reality, the Atman, which is your inner self, and the Moksha, which is your liberation from your rebirth. So, during this period where the Upanishads was being, I guess, discovered by this group of people, they said that the body had energy centers, and these energy centers, once opened and balanced, could create a kundalini-like awakening. So this is a line from the Upanishads, and it says, "As the spider sends forth its thread, so does the universe arise from the imperishable."
I don't know.
I feel like that would be a really good tattoo.
What does that mean?
As the spider sends forth its thread, so does the universe arise from the imperishable. I mean, that's just poetry to me.
Yeah, because I can't put that together. It's like sometimes you try to think of what it is, but sometimes it isn't.
As a poet, I really do love that concept. It's like you're literally just like creating art with words. That's just my take on it, but this is another line from the Upanishad, and it said, "The self is hidden in the lotus of the heart." And if you have been to a hippie festival, you're probably going to see a lot of art of lotus flowers. You're going to see a lot of women with lotus tattoos. You're going to be dealing with a lot of opening your lotus. And I I personally love the lotus flower, but Eric has officially ruined it for me. I really wanted to get a lotus flower, and he was just like, every time I see a lotus flower, it always makes me think of a vagina. Thank you for ruining that for me.
Great. I love that.
He's so rude. Well, then we have the Matri Upanishad, and this describes the 6 chakras, which eventually became the 7, but it is the 6 ascending energy centers to prana, which is later going to be involved in the Kundalini yoga, and we will get into that as we keep going. But the Upanishads were philosophical texts used for practical methods of awakening your energy centers. Then, after this, the world in India specifically turned to the Tantras, which the Tantras is a radical path of energy and embodiment. So while mainstream Vedic traditions focused on purity and transcendence, the Tantric movement from 500 to 1300 CE embraced the physical world as divine. So, unlike the ascension of the Upanishads and the sages, the Tantras kind of worked with your body being the temple. You're also going to be doing rituals, saying mantras, and doing visualization techniques. You're also going to be dealing with the serpent power of the Kundalini Shakti. During the time of the Tantras being mapped out, they did finally map out the subtle body in detail. That there were 72,000 nadis, which were energy channels within your body. You have 7 chakras, and then the Kundalini was the coiled energy at the base of the spine. Once awakened, you would kind of deal with like energy shifts and like quantum leaping and things like that. That's those videos that they try to talk about, the quantum leap on TikTok. People are like, let me show you how to quantum leap. That's what they're talking about, is opening up your Kundalini. Like, that's not what they're saying, but that's what they mean. So, the tantric yogis develop techniques like pranayama, which is breathing control. So these are different breathing exercises to open or activate different parts of your body. You deal with the mudras, which is your energy seals, and then mantra repetition like lam, vam, yam. Doing these repetitive things can induce a hypnotic state. Okay? When done correctly and when done in a quiet and calm environment, you can invoke this like energy of awakening, and by energy of awakening I mean like going through like a hypnotic experience. So some people can't activate this part of their body because they don't feel like they can open up and do these chants because they think it's weird. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to chant in front of people. Like that's just weird." And if you're not open to that, like you truly are, I guess, cutting yourself short of experiencing something that I remember this. So this is actually another chant that we will talk about later, but it's called Ang Namo Guru Te Namo. So, sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. And this mantra calls upon the creative force of the universe, the divine teacher inside of us, that establishes a strong and clear connection so that we can receive the highest guidance, energy, and inspiration. And some people might listen to this and just be like, oh, hell no.
And there's like all kinds of other ones. Dude, I got this from that yoga session from that guy, and I've kept it ever since.
That's crazy.
So yeah, there's all kinds of chants that you can do in those, like what she's talking about, the hums, and this is basically Agare Nama.
Yeah, you can sing it too. So singing it, you can chant it like over and over again.
It's like from something from fucking
and I remember
Avatar.
I remember the exact inflection of how we were saying it. I don't even know.
It was like it was the humming.
It was like a singing, songing kind of way. So it would be like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna do it. Hold on. It's like Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Like, do you remember how we were saying it?
Kind of. It was like that, yeah. But
yeah, it was like a sing-songy.
I was very relaxed though. I'll tell you that. He put the gong over me, and I was like seeing some light in the middle of my head.
That's the opening of your third eye, but it's incredible.
It was weird. I thought it was the sun shining in, but the gong was over me, so I don't know.
So, okay. I experienced something like this when I did a sound bath about a month and a half ago. And when I did this sound bath, she put Tibetan singing bowls around different energy centers of my body, almost like releasing trauma in a way. And I don't know how to explain it, but like I would go places. I'm not kidding. I can't believe I'm about to actually like say this. Like I've really only like journaled this, but while I was in this state of being almost like hypnotized or something, I literally just like went somewhere else. I was not here. And when I lived in Missouri, there was this field behind my house. We lived on like 6.5 acres. And this field by my house was a place where I felt safe. And I remember being in like 5th and 6th grade. And I would walk in this field by myself. And I would just sing songs that we were doing in choir during this time. I was in like a kids choir, so we were like learning songs and stuff. And I would go back to that field just by myself and I would just like sing. Put my hands on the grass, like the sun would be shining. And I always thought, I always want to like remember this. This is like one of the most peaceful times of my childhood. Like I had like a really rough childhood because we moved around a lot. It was like one of the first places that I like felt safe, I guess. And like in my mind during this Tibetan singing bowl sound bath thing at this lady's house, go back there, like I felt like I was back there in that time. Like
going back to the memory.
It was almost like I was there though. And then I would
But that's your body tapping into that memory so deeply that you're able to visually be in that memory.
That's exactly what it felt like. It felt like a dream. Like I was back 5th grade, like walking through and I'm just, whoa. I jolted, like I fell back into my body. Like, you know how you're trying to sleep and you just jolt?
It's like you just woke back up or something.
That's exactly what happened. And was I just dreaming? Because that was so real. And I had multiple weird experiences like that where I would remember something and it would make me want to like almost like cry or I would like jolt awake. And it was my body being put at, this lady, my friend Aurora, we're new friends, okay. But she was telling me that sound baths can reset your energy levels to base levels. So before I had my sound bath, I was experiencing a lot of unfocused energy. So I couldn't focus on anything because I was just so scattered. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I could barely even edit my podcast because all I wanted to do was just get up. I didn't want to sit and focus. And doing that sound bath really helped reset my brain to where I felt like I could focus. So if you haven't done a sound bath, I highly recommend doing it, especially by yourself, because it's just a very like intimate experience with yourself. I really felt like I went places in my brain, and I don't know how to explain it. It's incredible. After our little sidetrack, now we're going to get into the history of the Kundalini Yoga, which is the serpent of awakening. So the Kundalini Yoga roots lie in the ancient Vedic tapas, which is the ability to generate inner heat. Okay? The Upanishad meditations on prana and the tantric rituals of the Shakti, which is the divine feminine energy. And the Kundalini Yoga is described as a dormant serpent coiled at the base of a spine. Base of the spine. God, I can't speak. And the serpent of fire is awakened through yoga, through mantras, and in the 20th century, Yogi Bhajan brought Kundalini Yoga to the West, blending tantric techniques with other mantras and also bringing into this yogic experience the dynamic breathing exercises. So, from the Vedic hymns to the Upanishad sages to the Tantric revolution to the modern Kundalini awakening, these teachings form an unbroken river of divine wisdom that continues to flow through the millennia from the ancient sages of India that still influence our world today. Because me and Kyla are not the only people out there that believe in this stuff. And whether you believe in it or not, just entertain the thought for a day. Just maybe entertain it. You don't have to believe it. Just maybe kind of play into it and like, okay, I don't believe this, but I'm going to play along. Okay? Just kind of like expand your consciousness a little.
It's just like with everything that we also talk about with like real life things and what you choose to believe and what you choose not to believe, like entertainment purpose only, all that crap. It's just like you choosing to believe that there's more to this world than what there truly is. I mean, in every form and aspect. I mean, there's so much more that you just aren't open to. That, not that you aren't open to it literally, it's just not there for you to access it. So, it's good to, like, you know, become knowledgeable at least of things.
Yeah, and opening your mind and your heart to other cultures as well is also another way to expand your consciousness.
That's
so
what I...
So people who don't have an expansion of consciousness are, I really feel like, the people who like never go on like any vacations at all, and they just go to work and they go home and they don't really like do anything, and they think that their life is miserable even though like they're choosing to be in that reality and never like break out of that reality because they feel like they can't. Your mind and your heart is where your energy is at. If your energy is at a low state, you're going to be experiencing that low state of emotion, of fear, of thinking that you can't do something. But once you balance that and you break free, there's no limit to what you can do.
It's weird though, because some people, like, just only think about, you know, at home and what they're gonna get next, and it's all superficial and stuff.
And that's the world that we're living in today. But some people have awakened and they realize that this is not the way that life should be. We shouldn't be materialist. We shouldn't be always looking to buy the next thing. Maybe we should focus on harnessing our energy and putting it towards things that are going to grow us. And for me, that's traveling. But some of my friends, they don't enjoy traveling. Literally,
They don't want to at all. I
Well-
have no want to do it.
Well, one of my best friends, she actually literally says that one vacation a year is good for her because she was just like, I am a homebody. I enjoy making my house better. I enjoy gardening. I enjoy the little things like sitting on my porch with some coffee. Like, she's a stay-at-home mom. She was like, I enjoy my slow mornings with my children because they're only kids one time. And she was like, and I get to be here. And she's like, I'm so thankful.
And that's amazing. That's a whole other path, and I love that. You know what I mean?
Like,
and some people just, that's all they see is growing a home, staying there, because I guess at some point, that's all some people ever knew. They stayed in that one place forever.
Yeah, and
and that's what they were fine with that.
And like some people just have that energy of being a homemaker, like being like and not wanting to travel is not a bad thing. Maybe that's just not what your energy is geared towards.
And some people don't like to be around a lot of people.
Yes, and you can grow your consciousness in different ways. You can expand your consciousness in different ways. And we will be talking about all of those ways.
So whether you travel, whether you don't,
whether you decide
you can find a way to balance yourself.
Yes, you can find ways to personally balance your energies that it doesn't have to deal with spending lots of money. It doesn't have to be, going to church. It doesn't have to be like a certain thing that...
All the things you would typically probably think of it as, there could be many more options, essentially.
Yes.
It doesn't have to just be one thing.
Hidden in the depths of the human body, the ancient yogis spoke of a dormant goddess which is coiled up like a serpent at the base of the spine, and when awakened can arise like a liquid fire, piercing through the chakras and transforming your consciousness and revealing the ultimate truth that you are not the body, you are pure awareness. So how does this awakening occur? This is signs that you have experienced a Kundalini awakening. You have had a tingling or heat or electric currents moving up and down your spine. And this is all metaphorically. But the tingling and heat is not. You can't experience this. You will also experience visions and mystical experiences such as I cannot speak, I'm so sorry. Vivid dreams, light phenomenon, and encounters with deities. You will experience emotional purification, so a sudden release of buried trauma, joy, overwhelming bliss, involuntary movements, so the body may shake or assume a certain yogic posture, and it's like your body's way of like releasing emotion, which this actually did happen to me at a festival one time. I had been to 5 festivals that year. This was in 2022. I was going insane, obviously. And I was at this festival. It was like almost 2,000 people. It was one of the biggest festivals that I've ever been to so far. And it was like an EDM festival. It was a lot, honestly. Like after that was my 5th festival that year, my body was absolutely exhausted. And I decided to go to this free yoga thing. And this one guy who had actually went and studied in India was here, like visiting, doing a class. So like this guy was the real thing. Like he had studied with I guess some like yogis in a mosque in India for I don't even know how long. It was like 10 or 12 years.
I remember you talking about this.
So he made us do all these different positions that I have never done before. And he was one of those, I guess, people who would kind of push you out of your comfort zone. So, like, if somebody wasn't doing the pose, he would literally try to help you. Like, he made everyone do headstands at one point, and I couldn't even do it. He literally held my feet and somebody else's right behind me, like, holding our feet up with, like,
He's
with
like,
just,
you're fucking getting this meditation done.
with, like, 2 fingers. Like, just, like, holding us, and I was just like, bruh.
The
like,
balance, yeah. He has so much balance.
So, like, there was this one pose that he made me do, or everybody, but it felt like it was just only me. Laid on the ground, and he told us to basically get in a fetal position. So putting your knees to your chest, laying on your side, hugging your arms together, kind of like interlocking your fingers. And when I did that, it made me revert back to like my childhood where I would like feel like alone or scared, and I would do that pose. And doing that pose awakened something within me to where I just started crying, and I didn't know like where it was coming from, but like all of a sudden, like, because my eyes were closed, but I felt like I was in like a really dark place, like in my brain, literally. I felt like there was nobody around me, but I felt like it was just me, and I was just crying, like holding my knees to my chest. I just started crying, and I couldn't stop crying. And there were other people around me, and nobody was asking if I was okay. Nobody like said anything except for the teacher. He like comes over and he like puts his hand on my shoulder, and I'm still crying, and I could hear him, and I could sense that other people were looking at me, but I didn't care. I was just crying. And he was like, this is a release of trauma. Like he was like, this is trauma like releasing from your body. Makes me want to cry just talking about it. But like it really did like bring
That's
me
crazy.
back to a place where I felt like I felt like a little girl, like doing that in my bed at night.
It's crazy though.
Yeah, like
you felt it too.
Just one pose that like opened up, man, I'm gonna start crying. Like it just like opened up something within me, and like I will never forget that, because I don't think I've had something like that happen since, really. Like it really was like a release of intense emotion for me, and
you needed it.
I did. And after that festival, I had this awakening of that I just noticed, because I went to like 5 festivals that year, And I called that year the year of me chasing the dragon. Like, I was really just like I was doing too much and I was stretching my energy. And there's only so much that you can party before you kind of realize, like, is this life really sustainable? Do I always have to keep feeling like I have to go to the next party, the next festival for the fear of missing out? Or should I protect my energy? And partying all the time is not good for anybody. It's good to go out every once in a while. If that's your lifestyle, like, I'm sorry, but drinking and smoking all the time and like other substance abuse and things like that in controlled settings under the right conditions, it can be good, especially if it's a once in a while type thing. But if you're doing this every weekend, is that really a sustainable lifestyle? Like, some people think it is. I personally don't. But I have lived that lifestyle. I have lived that shit. And I go out every once in a while and I enjoy my time out. But it's not my lifestyle. It's going out is a part of life. Partying is not my personality. I am me. I am Becca, but I am not the party animal. I'm a wife, a mother, a podcaster. I like to go out, but I'm not going to let the party consume me to the point where I feel like I have no personality without the party.
Yeah, and I don't think people would label you though that like you don't. That's not the person you have to be. You are your person, and you don't have to be labeled as whatever you had done before, basically. Like, and I have friends that worry like, oh, people expect me to still be that way. No, you grow, you learn, and people change, and that's okay. Like, and that's fine, and people will be accepting of that if they're good people and your friends and true. Not just gonna be with you in one phase of your life. They'll be with you through every phase because you're always gonna be changing.
Yes, and people can change. Some people say that no, they can't change or I can't change, but that is absolutely false. I have changed so many times throughout even my life at this point, and
I feel like it's just you growing. I guess people can say the same, but it's okay to change as well.
I feel so mentally like stable and secure right now, and it's not something that I have felt in the longest time. So I am totally embracing that, and I am most definitely experiencing this last part of the Kundalini awakening, which is the altered states of consciousness, which is deep meditative absorption, out of body experiences, or sense of cosmic unity. So when I have experienced this altered states of consciousness actually recently when I have had actually very vivid dreams. And in these dreams, I don't even know how to describe it, but it most definitely felt like I was like somewhere else. And I'm not going to bore you with the details of my dreams, but the thing is that some of my dreams have literally made me sit back and like question my entire reality because of how lucid my dreams are. Like, I feel like I'm able to like be completely conscious in my dreams, and I've never really had this ability like I do right now. So it kind of makes me feel like I don't get good sleep because of that, though. But I feel like that is this kind of like awakening that I've experienced.
It's interesting. I'm just on a fucked up sleep schedule, so I don't even know. Half my body's not even couldn't even get there because I'm not sleeping fully.
Well, as the Kundalini rises, each energy center becomes purified, unlocking different psychic powers, the CTs, which is also considered higher states of awareness. So, your root chakra, once you have experienced the purification of said root chakra, you will dissolve your survival fears and have profound grounding. And we will also give different techniques later on how to ground. You have the sacral chakra, which you will have transformations of your creative and sexual energy, and you will also have a lot of embracing of your spiritual energies. So some people have this part of themselves completely closed off. And if you are experiencing the purification of your solar plexus, you're going to be dealing with the dissolved ego, and you're going to have an awakening of your inner power. And purifying your heart chakra, you're going to experience unconditional love and you're going to experience the joy of your own being. So you're not going to be in this emotional instability that we talked about. And then we have the throat chakra purification. You'll be dealing with the divine truth that flows through speech. The third eye purification, intuition, visions of past and future arise. Just like in that sound bath I was talking about, just like in that yoga pose that I did that gave me like a vision of my past. Then we have the crown chakra that's merging with the infinite source energy going through ego death, which I have been through before.
That's what Trapper said he did. He said, I had an ego death.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how he knew what that meant. Like, where did he even get that word from? It's like he knew.
No, I think because he was watching videos on it, because that's what people talk about when you go through, like, the bad place during, like, a TNT trip. Dynamite trip. Figure it out what I'm saying. I'm not going to spell it out for you. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, ego death is something that if you do psychedelics can happen to you. I have most definitely experienced it. Let's continue. I'm not going to tell you how, not until later. So maybe it'll be in our questions that we actually get to this. So not all awakenings are blissful. Some experience what they call Kundalini syndrome, which is having intense heat, insomnia, paranoia, temporary madness, and this is why they say that having guidance from a guru is crucial to experiencing the Kundalini awakening. But I personally think that you can experience it on your own, especially using psychedelics in a controlled environment, in a safe environment. You can achieve that state on your own, where you can have this ego death, psychic sensitivities, being able to read energies, auras, and thoughts. The ego dissolution is not me versus you, but that there is only unity. Then you can also experience spontaneous healing. So the body's prana will self-regulate and you can kind of rid yourself of sickness and diseases. You'll also deal with divine ecstasy, which is it's just like pure joy. And this is something that happens when the Kundalini reaches the crown, which is the natural state of enlightenment. Premature Kundalini awakening can cause psychotic breaks if your mind is not purified. Chronic pain or energy blockages if nadis are clogged, so that's all of your energy channels. Then you can also deal with spiritual narcissism, which is mistaking powers that you do to make decisions, mistaking them for you being enlightened, which I feel like there's a lot of spiritual narcissism out there, of people who want to tell you exactly what your energy is when energy is fluid and it's dynamic and it's not just like one-sided. And people want to come at you with energy that is totally hateful, unwarranted, not caring, not in the light, like trying to actively get something from you, whether it's words, whether it's your energy, like there are energy vampires out there. And I truly feel like I recognize that now. And when I asked ChatGPT, I was literally trying to have like a full-on conversation with ChatGPT about this. And it said that my ego was elevated because I was looking at people different for judging their energy. And I was like, no, I'm not judging their energy in a bad way. I'm judging their energy in terms of protecting my own. And then it said, oh, so you're scared. You're scared of what people are going to say about your energy. And I said, no, I'm not scared of what people are going to say about my energy. I'm scared of other people's negative energy affecting me. So before that can happen, I close them off entirely. So like if somebody at work is having like a really negative, fuck you bitch, like I don't fucking get, I can just tune it out. Snap of a finger, I'm not listening anymore. And some people are like, bitch, you don't listen. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, I was trying to tune everybody out so I could have a good day. That's just it. Like, I am an empath, so other people complaining about their life or crying or cussing at people or creating a hostile work environment, that can affect everyone around you.
Oh, hell yeah, it does.
You are an energy domino effect to everything around you, and a lot of people don't recognize that. So a lot of people just act however they act thinking that there are no consequences to their actions. Your energy sets off a chain reaction of other people in the room. So if I come into work and I'm pissed off at the world, at everyone else, at having to work this stupid job, work for the man, I could make everybody's day miserable every single fucking day if I wanted to. But I don't. I come into work and I have the attitude of, I have to be here, and I'm in this reality with others who also don't want to be here, but I'm going to have a good day. And if I'm not having a good day, I'm not telling anybody. I'm not bothering anybody with my energy. I'm going to be reserved. I'm going to keep to myself, because putting that energy out there, like, it's the collective. So, like, you are affecting the collective with whatever words you are putting out there. So, some people put out that energy of being very anxious and being very depressed and being, I don't know what they're saying about me, but I feel like they're talking about me. Or always feeling like everything revolves around you. There's people out there that have main character energy and they feel like they are the main character, when in fact we all are the main character. But a lot of people get into the thinking that they are the main character and they don't have any regard for thinking about everybody's life around them and how we're all connected. So that was a total mindfuck kind of rabbit trail right there. But
I can visualize that happens all the time for sure.
so the purpose of the Kundalini is not about powers. It's about freedom from illusion, freedom from suffering, experiencing the cycle of rebirth. And the Shiva Samhita declares that when the Kundalini awakens, the yogi becomes the god in this very life. So here are some stories of sacred techniques that have been used to the illuminated ones. So for millennia, yogis and tantrikas have practiced the secret methods of awakening the Kundalini, and that they are not merely exercises but sacred rituals passed down through lineages. And here are some of the most potent techniques. There's the bellows breath, the Bhastrika pranayama. I might be saying it wrong, but forgive me. I literally wrote down how to say this, but it's still hard. So the bellows breath. So this is how to practice it. Sit in a lotus or cross-legged posture. Inhale deeply through the nose, then exhale forcefully in short bursts, like pumping, like. And this effect ignites your inner fire, your Agni. Yeah.
Like a fucking humpy dog.
So like short bursts of air. And this will help clear blockages in your energy channels, but doing this causes dizziness when building up gradually, which I have done this before, and yes, it does make you dizzy. This is literally what they call DMT breathing. So to go to sleep a few months back, I was having issues sleeping. I was dealing with a little patch of insomnia, which I have dealt periodically throughout my life. And I decided to listen to this 15-minute DMT breathing exercise on YouTube. No ads. So you're just breathing. And this guy went through and he goes, okay, so, for the first 3 minutes, this is what it is. You doing this exercise is going to activate the DMT in your brain, and you can experience flashes in color, light. You can experience almost like a hypnotic state for just a few moments. And I decided to do this exercise. It was actually really hard because I was laying down, so I wasn't sitting up. I was just laying in the bed trying to sleep. But I'm doing this breathing exercise, and it's making my head feel like it's blowing up like a balloon. Like I felt like my head was a balloon, like it was going to pop. And then all of a sudden I felt this flash of like light and color. And he kept doing the breathing exercise, but I lost control of my breathing. I was literally in the hypnotic state. And I was experiencing this, I don't know what it was, but it made me fall asleep. Flashes of light and color, and then all of a sudden I woke up for work. It was...
Dude, I put the sound of a box fan on my phone. I put it next to my ear. I'm fucking out. Just like the video of a box fan.
That's what Eric does.
It works really good.
It doesn't work for me. I tried it.
If I'm like really upset and I can't sleep, I want to go to sleep, I'll put that right next to my ear and I'm out before I even know it.
I seriously have tried that, and the only thing that puts me to sleep when I'm like really awake and I can't sleep is just turning on a documentary.
Like counted horses or anything jumping over your bed?
I have tried random shit like that, yeah. I cannot.
Your favorite animal, like, pick, not just like a weird one, like your dog, like.
Well, sometimes throughout childhood I had cases of insomnia, literally, and it was really hard for me to sleep. Sometimes I literally only slept like 2 hours in a whole week, and I'd be doing my school, doing my volleyball, and I'm just not sleeping.
That's not safe.
Yeah, and I don't do that as an adult now, but like there's times where like I really only sleep like 2 or 3 hours a night. I just randomly deal with insomnia, but it's whatever. I don't want to get medicated for it. I want to deal with it naturally. So when I'm having issues like that, I take a lot of magnesium. But anyways, the next ancient technique for opening your serpent fire is the Kekari Mudra, the tongue lock. How to practice is rolling your tongue back. Oh, putting your tongue all the way back to touch like your like nasal cavity. There's no way I could do that. Then there's the Mahabandha, which is the great lock. How to practice this is inhaling deeply, holding your breath for several seconds. This is engaging your root lock and also like lifting your abdominal muscles. Hold as long as you are comfortable, then exhale slowly. This forces the rise of the Kundalini. Then we have the chanting. How to practice is focus on each chakra color at different centers of your body by saying the Lam, which is root, Vam, sacral, Ram, solar plexus, Yam, heart, Ham, throat, and then the third eye. That's the third eye. So doing this chanting can activate energy centers and preparing your path for the Kundalini awakening. The Guru mantra that we said earlier, Ang Namo Guru Tev Namo. This is taught by the Yogi Bhajan. This mantra aligns the student with the divine teacher within, and this creates a protective field preventing chaotic Kundalini awakenings. Historic accounts of the Kundalini awakenings is the sage Gorakana, which is a master of the Kundalini to such a degree that he could stop his heartbeat. That's what is said in the 9th to 12th century anyways. Once he entered a meditative state for 12 years when a king tested him by burying him alive, and he emerged unharmed. This is just these oral histories, so I think this is very interesting. And this is the first founder formalizing the Kundalini Yoga. We have Ramakrishna, which is the priest of the Kali, erupted spontaneously his Kundalini, entered Samadhi so often that his family worried that he had gone mad. One time he had a vision during a Kundalini awakening of a rising golden light merging within him and meeting with the Divine Mother. And a quote from this is, "The Kundalini is coiled like a snake. When awakened, it hisses and rises. The whole world becomes a dream." Then we have Gopi Krishna. This is the Kashmiri. Okay, let me say that again. A Kashmiri office worker awakened his Kundalini through intense meditations. For years he suffered with burning sensations of insomnia, visions, until his energy stabilized. During a revelation, he wrote that the Kundalini was the evolutionary energy within man, saying that it was a biological spiritual force. We have the story of Steve Jobs and Ram Dass, who said that he could transfer Kundalini energy with a glance, which Ram Dass is an incredible human. I love some of his work. I haven't read all of it, but I do love Ram Dass. And my man hates Ram Dass. He like literally says that he's like pretentious and he's just like foo-foo. He's like, this is all fake. I don't know. I'm open to this type of energy. He's just very closed off to this. So the devotees of the Neem Karoli Baba experienced electric shocks when being touched by him and said that they could spontaneously enter meditative states in his presence. And here is the last one, which is the Lahiri Mahasaya, which is the story of a householder and yogi who received Kundalini initiation in a dream by immortal beings, apparently. Said that he could materialize his body in multiple places at once, heal with one touch, and revived Kriya Yoga, which was later popularized in the autobiography of a yogi. So, interesting information here. Final warning: the Kundalini is not a game, so many modern seekers chase the Kundalini for powers or highs, but sacred texts warn these two things. Without a guru, the path is dangerous, and only the pure in heart can handle the fire. True Kundalini awakening is an experience of death and rebirth where the ego burns away and the soul emerges. So here are some clinical studies of what happens in your body when experiencing a Kundalini awakening. Kundalini awakenings in individuals with no prior yoga experience have these symptoms: involuntary body movements, extreme heat and cold sensations, and temporary psychosis. Kundalini awakenings share traits almost like having epileptic seizures, having bipolar disorder, having mystical experiences. It is a very distinct, transformative, non-pathological experience when properly integrated. So this is the effect of Kundalini Yoga on your functioning cognitive and mental health. Practices of participants who practice Kundalini Yoga for 12 weeks have found these findings in clinical studies: reduced stress and cortisol levels. I need to start doing this. I have super high cortisol. You will also experience improved memory and focus linked to increased prefrontal cortex activity. You will have alleviated OCD symptoms and anxiety. And conclusion: doing Kundalini Yoga for 12 weeks consistently can regulate your autonomic nervous system, balancing your fight or flight response. This is neurological and physiological research. During Kundalini meditations and yoga, advanced meditators, people who have done it for up to 12 weeks, can experience associated or heightened awareness bliss states having gamma brain waves at 40 hertz, theta waves, which is what the dolphins have, a deep meditative trance-like state, which is linked to subconscious access. So that's deep regulation of your brain waves. Conclusion: practice of the Kundalini yoga and meditations can induce hyperbrain coherence, similar to having deep mystical experiences.
That's crazy. I wonder what would happen if you did that and then went and practiced it with a dolphin.
What if we started like keeping each other accountable and like practicing our yoga every day and like trying to do this as we do this, like even on your cruise ship, like trying to like go to the deck and like do some yoga, like, you know, like trying to like
There's a gym.
trying to like awaken our Kundalini.
Well, like,
I think we could also like do some days together, like just like do yoga in the park or something, do some like meditative breathing, like, you know, and just try to like keep each other accountable to try to do this while we do this series.
Maybe, yeah, we can do that. And especially because it's getting warm now.
Try to do like a 12-week challenge and then report back to you at the end of the 12 weeks. Like, this is what we've experienced.
We
kind
can
of
definitely,
like document.
yeah.
This is just coming to me right now. I feel like that would be kind
of. Well, I had already
thing.
mentioned that I want to like do yoga and stuff if we have time because I like yoga, but I've not been doing it lately.
I do it a few times a week at the gym mostly, but I do
more yoga when I work. I'm talking about like separately outside or
yeah. Well, like doing it in the gym is still like good because I'm still in my zone. Like no one is like bothering me. Like I'm just like in my zone.
I know. I just
Doing it outside is much better.
I
But
just want to get in and out of the gym, so it's like nice to do it out somewhere where I don't feel like I want to get in and out.
for sure. And also doing the Kundalini yoga, you will experience a upregulation of brain-derived neurotropic factors which supports neuron growth. You will experience reduced inflammation markers linked to stress and resilience, and you will also experience slow cellular aging and enhanced neuroplasticity. You will also experience, during these breathing techniques, you will stimulate the vagus nerve, which lowers your heart rate, enhances emotional regulation, and reduces inflammation in the body. So Kundalini practices may work with bioelectrical pathways, and not just metaphorically, but physically. So here are some actual findings of Kundalini-like awakenings. This is the case of Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. This is in 2006. So after a stroke, her left brain was reported Kundalini-like sensations, having a dissolution of the ego, overwhelming bliss, and an experience of oneness with the universe. And this scientific take suggests that Kundalini experiences may involve a temporal lobe or right hemisphere activation. Kundalini and NDEs. NDEs are near-death experiences, and in one study by Grayson in 2000, said that 60% of near-death experience survivors reported persistent energy surges that resemble Kundalini-like awakenings that may involve DMT-like releases and experience a limbic system overload. So, very interesting.
It is interesting.
Controversies and skepticism. We have psychiatrists say that the Kundalini awakenings are not mental illnesses, but not spiritual awakenings either. And they say that there have been warnings that people have tried to over pathologize these mystical experiences. But I feel like people who are closed off to things are literally not allowing their consciousness to expand because they're not entertaining the thought. They're just like, absolutely not. I'm not going to believe that crack of horse shit. But I feel like people who are closed off, you're closing yourself off to experiences that may ultimately benefit you in your life. You're just not opening yourself to it.
And you'll never know.
So,
because you never were open to it.
Most research was based on samples and case reports in what I just mentioned above. And keep in mind that these are all studies of a subjective nature because Kundalini awakenings is hard to measure objectively. So in the conclusion here, Western science does not prove the Kundalini. It's saying that experiencing the Kundalini can give you altered brain function, gamma brain waves, vagal tone. You will also impact your gene expression, have less stress and anti-aging in your neurons, and you can also experience psychiatric conditions. But that's what can happen when you don't have a guru or you're just not ready for the awakening yet. So our final thought here is one Yoga Upanishad said, it was a yogi. I don't even have their name written down, I'm so sorry, but it says, when the sleeping Kundalini awakens, the mind becomes silent, and the scientist becomes the experiment. So,
interesting. That's cool.
So now let's get into... Now we're going to balance our root chakras. We're going to balance it with you. So now that we've kind of gone through the history of these things, let's get into what the root chakra is, how to balance it, and then we are going to help balance ours with you today, right now. So the root chakra is the foundation of survival, security, and grounding, and it is located at the base of the spine. It is the primal energy center governing our most fundamental basic human needs of survival, safety, and physical existence. It is associated with the earth element, symbolizes stability, nourishment, and the drive to thrive. What happens when your root chakra is balanced? Well, you will experience physical vitality, so you'll have a strong immune system, healthy adrenal glands. You will have robust digestion, so you'll have a good metabolism. And the root chakra, when in harmony, when you have your root chakra in harmony, you will experience profound connected to nature. You will feel grounded. You will feel trust in natural laws. You are able to move with the ebb and flow of life. And we also come from a place of understanding that we will be provided for and that we are connected to the collective consciousness and even the consciousness of our family. And this is what connects us to feeling safe in the world. So when balanced, you will experience emotional security, a deep sense of belonging, trust in life, a freedom from chronic fear or anxiety. You will experience mental stability, clarity in decision making, especially regarding your own survival needs, your money, shelter, and career. When your root chakra is balanced, you also experience energetic grounding, so you will not feel spacey, disassociated, and you will feel grounded in your reality. And the manifestation of power through your root chakra is the foundation for your other higher chakras. So you need to make sure that this is balanced before you move on to the next one. Signs of an imbalanced chakra. We have 4 different signs. We have physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual. Signs of an imbalanced root chakra for the physical. You have fatigue, constipation, lower back pain, obesity, and eating disorders. For the emotional, you have chronic fear, paranoia, greed, and excessive need for material. Psychological, you have your survival anxiety, your scarcity mindset, and feeling like you are an outsider. I have felt this so many times throughout my life, moving so much. I had to move all the time as a child, and it made me feel this exact way, feeling like an outsider everywhere I went. But thankfully to say, Cincinnati is the place where I've lived the longest in my life so far, and I love it here. I'm enjoying being rooted and grounded in my life, and I'm happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been, and I'm thriving. So that's where I'm at.
Bum, 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 bum.
But having a spiritual imbalance of the root chakra will leave you feeling like you have difficulty meditating, having a restlessness, or an inability to sit still. And I truly feel like I've been going through all of these things lately. So balancing my root chakra is most definitely going to be something that I work on this week before we record our next.
Balance that root.
I truly do feel like this resonates with me deeply. I've been struggling with all of those things just listed.
I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of everything in all the roots, and I've got something to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just overthinking it.
Deep psychological impact of the imbalances, when blocked, can make you hypervigilant. So, constantly scanning for threats, which is linked to PTSD. So, always thinking that someone is out to get you.
Not that. I just always think of the worst possible thing that could happen.
There's hoarding behaviors. This is what I said about always making sure my fridge is completely full and shit going bad in my fridge and then not throwing it away. Why do I do this? It is the fear of not having enough money, enough food, enough love. That hoarding behavior.
Could that be like someone getting too many animals, like the love aspect?
That also is
like
hoarding animals. That does count. There's self-sabotage. The unconscious belief that you believe within yourself that you do not deserve to thrive because of something that you did in the past, something that someone did to you. You think you're not worthy of love. You think you're not worthy of acceptance. You are worthy of those things. And having an imbalance in your root chakra makes you feel self-sabotagey. So, also, the last psychological impact of the root chakra imbalance is the disassociation, the numbness, and addiction to wanting to escape. Escape from your current reality because you hate it. Well, how do you heal your root chakra? Here are some different tips on how to heal it. Physically, you can do squats. You can walk barefoot in the grass, especially putting your feet into the dirt. eating root vegetables such as beets and carrots.
I had carrots last night for dinner.
I always eat carrots. I love them. There is the energetic lamb mantra chanting. You can do, you can acquire red gemstones such as garnet or hematite, which you can carry around with you as like a physical kind of like reminder of your energy. There's psychological shadow work, which is working on your family lineage trauma. There is something called generational trauma. And generational trauma is trauma that has been passed down in your family's lineage for many generations. So, like, let's say you're the family of an immigrant during the last 100 years from another country. They deal with a lot of fear and anxiety of moving to a new country, having to fit in, learn a second language, having to survive in a new environment, you know what I mean? Like, that generational trauma does stick with you. And it's speculated that that generational trauma is within your DNA sequence. Okay? So, like, it doesn't go as just deep as, like, your psychological. Like, it really is, like, it's in your DNA. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So, I didn't even think that would be possible.
Yeah, they say that your past lives that you have lived are like hidden within like the sequences of your DNA genome, and like through deep hypnosis you can like channel into that. But I've never been able to.
I can understand that. I mean, what if that's like what
That's how you find your past lives.
like no, like that guy that we talked about in the last one. The crazy, oh my god.
Warren Jeffs,
No.
Meryl Jessup,
No, not that one. The
Scientology,
I think so, yeah.
David Miscavige.
Hubbard. Yeah, no, Hubbard.
Okay.
About
Yeah.
how he was saying like you're trying to open up and find memories and go back to like past like souls are trapped in you. So maybe they're not other souls, they're your other like lives. And they were like going to those other lives and they were like remembering the memories of past lives or something. And that's, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it kind of relates in a sense. Like, not all the same, but a general idea. It kind of, like, is, like, similar to me.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, that's probably maybe the philosophy of where he got this from, because this was around before Hubbard.
Obvious.
So, like,
for sure it was around before Hubbard. Like,
so maybe he, like,
pulled it all together. And
yeah, he was a writer, so props to him. I mean, it's an interesting story, I'll give him that.
he obviously added more bullshit to it, but there were some weird truths to, like, a way of, like, no, there are things within you from your past, I guess, that you can unlock.
That is literally the key to being the best storyteller there is possible. If you have the ability to allow multiple cultures of people to relate to something, a story, that's what means that you are a good writer. And I'm sorry, I just had to say that because I am a writer. So
well, I think that the thing that he had written was a bunch of baloney, but they made you up into the thing believe like you had to read it.
No, I mean, I think that he took things from different religions, talking about L. Ron Hubbard, and he kind of used them to create this kind of like story that resonates with people. That's why they have so many followers, because people resonate with the story. And that's what's the key to good storytelling. Mm-hmm. The key to good storytelling is being relatable. Mm-hmm. So, sorry, just had to say that. But healing your root chakra also means practicing gratitude for basic needs like food, shelter, and your breath. So a balanced root chakra is like an anchor to the soul. Without it, you float away in an existential crisis. And with it, having the anchor of the soul, having it balanced, you will feel unshakable. So here are some techniques to balance your root chakra. Sit with your legs crossed in the grass or stand barefoot in the grass. Visualize red roots growing from your tailbone into the earth. Breathe in and imagine your body being stable with breath. Exhale your fear. You can chant LAM, L-A-M, 21 times and feel that vibration within the base of your spine. And doing these things can reconnect you to the earth stabilizing energy. There's pelvic floor activation. So that's deeply inhaling to contract your perineum muscles and hold for 5 seconds release with one exhale, and do this 10 times. So this gives you a strengthened life force and prevents fatigue and low vitality. There's the red light visualization. So close your eyes and imagine a red glowing sun at your tailbone, which with each breath it will grow brighter and dissolving any fear, which is, if you imagine any like black spots in your body, like that's like where like fear is stored. That's just a technique. You can place your hand on your lower belly and affirm, I am safe, I am supported, and this can help reprogram your subconscious survival fears. So here are just 3 case studies of people who have experienced maybe something that you can relate to. Case 1, chronic anxiety and financial instability. A 34-year-old woman named Jane was experiencing panic attacks and job hopping. I cannot speak. I'm restarting. Humping. Job humping. She was humping jobs.
Keep it.
So, a 34-year-old woman named Jane experienced panic attacks and job hopping. And she felt like she could never fit in with her job because her family moved around every 2 years. And she said that they were always poor. And she felt like because of experiencing this all throughout her life, she felt like she could never have a stable job. The root chakra was blocked because she was experiencing the childhood poverty trauma of I'll never have enough. For healing, she did daily lamb chanting outside while barefoot. She would do it for about 10 minutes, which is a little excessive, but it can induce that trance-like state. She would do shadow work, so she would write letters to her inner child that she is safe now and that she doesn't have to be scared of moving around. She doesn't have to move around. And after 3 months, she finally secured a stable job and reduced her panic attacks by what she says is 70%. So maybe if you have experienced something that Jane experienced, you could maybe try what she did. This is another case study. Lower back pain and disassociation. A 28-year-old man named Nick had a desk job where he was sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day. He experienced chronic back pain, said that he always felt a floating sensation, and he always talked about how he never felt comfortable in his own body. He always felt like other people were judging him for the way he looks. And he said that he found himself feeling very paranoid of what others were thinking about him, especially when he was at work. So in this example, he was experiencing a disconnection from the body, which is experiencing the trauma of maybe some emotional neglect through childhood or in life. For healing, he would walk barefoot for 1 time a day for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Every morning he would do the yoga poses of the child's pose and the mountain pose for grounding before going to work. He bought a hematite crystal bracelet, and he would put it under his pillow and wear it every day when he went to work as like a reminder. He started adding beets and potatoes into his diet because root vegetables help grounding. And after 6 weeks, he said that he felt present in his body for the first time, and he was not feeling paranoid of what others were thinking of him. After 6 weeks of doing this stuff. So it's not an overnight fix, but maybe it is reprogramming your behavior. This one I thought was interesting because I do have a family member who hoards, but I'm not going to say who it is. But hoarding behavior, case 3. 50-year-old survivor of famine, Linda was an immigrant from Venezuela. In her early childhood, she never had enough food. And once she became an adult, she started stockpiling food in her apartment to the point where she would accumulate so much food, most of it would end up going bad. And she remembered that during her childhood, when she would struggle to get food at all times, she never was able to remain well fed. These fears creeped into much of her adulthood, which caused her to hoard food for most of her life since moving to the USA. So this is a root chakra blockage example. Somebody surviving terror from past starvation of childhood trauma. Healing protocol. She would visualize the abundance while holding a garnet stone daily. She started community gardening. So community gardening was giving her a physical connection to the earth and nourishing herself through the earth, not just by having to go out and buy all this random shit. She started doing acupuncture once a month to affirm different points of safety, which acupuncture is an energy release. I have not done it, but multiple people I know who have done it said that it has helped release trauma physically. After doing all of these things, she reduced her hoarding by about 90%, and any excess food that she donated, any excess food that she would have and have just laying around, she would donate to a shelter and to schools. So, final thought. Your root is your anchor, and when the foundation is strong, the temple will not shake. There are other ways to heal your root chakra: lighting a red candle, holding a black tourmaline stone, red jasper. Visualize your family tree roots, symbolize a red light around those tree roots to heal your past generations. You can do shadow work, so writing compassionate letters to your ancestors and or your childhood self or your future self. Burning letters is a ritual of release, saying that fire transforms energy into, it's like a catalyst. So I didn't know this. You could do hip opening yoga, which helps release stored trauma. And after doing these things for about 3 months, you can experience financial flow. This is all apparently, allegedly, whatever. You can experience a physical shift where you feel lighter in your body, and you can have dreams of standing on solid ground, showing that you're grounded. You're grounded. So, physical signs to check if you have an imbalance. Physical signs to check. Do you have lower back pain? Hip pain? Sometimes. Do you have fatigue easily or feel weighed down? Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
Are your teeth or gums weak? Because your root chakra governs your bones. I have weak teeth. I've always had weak teeth.
I don't think they're weak.
I do.
What would you consider weak?
People whose teeth break, like mine. I have bad teeth genes. My mom has had like 4 or 5 teeth removed, like fake teeth.
I mean, I don't know if my mom's reason is, but I'm assuming I'll be okay as long as I'm down a good path.
So other emotional and mental signs of having a issue with your root chakra is worrying about money daily, worrying if you are secure or if you're going to be secure until the next paycheck. I feel like a lot of Americans can resonate with that. You can also... Well, there's also feeling like an outsider and feeling like an outsider in your family and in society. Also hoarding objects such as food, clothes, or other weird items. This is a healing prescription. I'm not a doctor, but this is stuff that I have learned through this research. So here are some things that you can do to experience some healing in your root chakra. You can walk barefoot for about 10 minutes a day in the grass. That's grounding yourself to the energy of the earth. You can research your family story through ancestral work, and you can research members of your family and what their lives were like. That's getting connected to that emotional pain and also just kind of like learning how to like live with that. Then there's mantras you can repeat, such as maybe like writing with like a dry erase marker on your bathroom mirror, which you see every morning as you brush your teeth, which I fucking hope that you brush your teeth every day. And you can repeat this mantra and maybe just write it down on your mirror. I am safe The earth supports me. And repeat that every morning for multiple weeks. This taps into your root chakra. So now that we've gone through chakra history, the Kundalini, yoga, we are now going to balance our root chakras with you. So we are going to be answering some very personal questions, and these questions are specifically designed to help open up that root chakra. So if you are feeling some of the things that we mentioned above and you want to balance your root chakra, we invite you to maybe pause. After each question, we are going to leave about 5 seconds. So you can pause the video and think about your answer truthfully. And then when you press play, you're going to listen to our answers and what we feel. And sometimes this technique to open your root chakra is more easier for you to open it up if you write down your answers truthfully on paper instead of saying them in your head. But for listening purposes, we're just going to be saying ours out loud. So even if you're in a quiet space, you can just answer in your head. So these questions are definitely designed to be personal. They are designed to help open up and balance your root chakra, and we will be doing this for the rest of the episode. So if you are ready to hear our real, very personal responses in real time, this is going to get very interesting. So you're about to learn a lot more about us, and let's improve our root chakra together. Let's balance it. Help reduce our stress, okay? Help you rest better, help you feel more connected to yourself, your family, your friends, and the collective consciousness that we all experience on a deep personal level.
And it's okay to cry.
Our first question is, and remember, we are going to leave a 5-second pause for you to basically decide for yourself what you want to answer. Our first question is, what is a belief that you learned during childhood that has helped you through a tough situation recently?
I can resonate with right now and think of right at the top of my head is like, and I will always stick with this, is treating others how you want to be treated. You know, and you just got to remind yourself every day, even if you feel some type of way in any situation, is as to go about a situation how you would want someone to go about that situation with you. So I try to be very mindful of that. That's like a really big quote I still use since a child, and I go by it.
I feel like that would resonate with a lot of people, actually. And when it comes to my...
Because you would hope, right?
Yeah.
Someone would treat you that way because you were that way to them, but that's not always the fucking case. So.
And see, as a child, I always felt very scared, very insecure of what other people were thinking about me. I always felt like this type of paranoia of other people perceiving me a certain way when I enter the room. And as an adult, I feel like I have learned through tough situations, and even in recent tough situations, that feeling this way, feeling like other people are thinking about me, which maybe they are, maybe they're not, but everybody is dealing with this type of energy in terms of feeling like they don't measure up to people around them. And if you are dealing with that, I know how you're feeling. And it's a deep insecurity of mine. Sorry, if you just heard the bird in the recording, it was kind of throwing me off. We have the window open, so you're hearing nature sounds, so...
Hey, at least you got the natural...
Yeah, we got the natural light going on, no
natural
lamp sign.
vibe. We got natural energy coming in, so all good vibes.
So I would say the belief that I learned was not to focus on what other people are thinking about me in any situation, because I'm thinking my own things, and I'm not consumed with what other people are doing. And it's probably 100% true that not everybody around me is concerned with what I'm doing. It's maybe just my inner critic being very loud and obnoxious. So, Kyla, I'm going to let you pick the next question.
What what happened the last time someone said you were overstepping their boundaries?
I don't even know if I... Overstepping a boundary? Oh. I can think of something recently.
So I guess it's good that I picked this one.
I'm not going to say who it is, although you can probably guess, but whatever. I went through a situation where I guess I texted somebody a question, which I thought was a harmless question, and basically this person was saying that I had removed some trust from them because I didn't I didn't trust them to come through on what they said they were going to do. But they did not do what they said they were going to do for multiple weeks. So then I decided to step in and kind of take matters into my own hands, which was told to me as I'm being disrespectful. But there's only so many times that I feel like I can ask you to do something and it doesn't get done. So I finally just take matters into my own hands. So, but when that situation did come up, I did get very defensive and I said I would not be texting those people anymore for any circumstances. And I guess you could say that I still don't agree with their point of view, but I respect it. I respect their point of view. I don't agree with it. But for their sake, I'm not going to text these people any questions when it comes to their own personal BS. So
Yes, I agree. I can understand that.
So do you have experience like that?
Um, I don't know. I don't really know if someone's ever really said it to me. Uh, I don't know. I guess I can't think of a time. I don't know if me overstepping my boundaries. I don't know if I've been physically told like you're over, stepping my boundaries, but maybe I just like take it too far or keep going with the situation. I don't know if that's considered like not letting go, like keep saying the same thing, like giving it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You're a fire sign, though. You just got that fire in you.
And then I just want you to hear what I'm saying, but I can't think of like specifically like me like I don't know messaging my brother's girlfriend to get him to reply to me. I don't know. I mean, he would do the same thing. I wasn't rude or anything. I don't know. Maybe some people have thought it and they never told me.
That is possible.
I mean, sometimes I feel like I can be a lot. Afterwards, I'm like, did that fuck with him? Like, I'll think about it. I'm like, because, but I'm not being literal serious. Like, I'm not, like, my mood's not affected. Like, I'm not in a bad mood. Like, but I was giving someone shit. I give a lot of people shit.
But Kyla don't take no shit.
And I literally told him how I was giving you shit that one day. I was like, I was on a roll all week with one of my friends, and then I started doing it to you last week on the podcast. I was just, like, being all sarcastic. I don't know. But I'm sure someone has felt that way about me because I guess I can be a lot to some people, and that was what I mentioned before, like not everyone can be so accepting of your personality and how high your energy is, or just like giving someone a hug that might not have wanted it, that you didn't know that didn't want it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I can tell though, like I already know some people aren't huggers, you don't want to overstep their bounds, but sometimes I do. And
well, boundaries can be pressed, pushed, stepped on, whatever you want to call it. And as long as you recognize that, and even if you don't agree and you respect that, I am no spiritual teacher here, but I feel like that is the best way. But that's just my perspective on it. Mm-hmm. So our next question is, what is the fondest memory of your first 7 years of life?
fondest memory of the first years of my life.
First 7 years of your life, what's your most fondest memory?
Oh my god, this is hard for me because I have really bad memory with my childhood. Fondest memory. I don't know.
I feel like my most fondest memory was when...
So up until 7 years old?
Yeah.
I don't know if I even really remember a lot.
Really?
My memory sucks.
I love certain parts of my childhood. One of the things that I used to do when I was definitely around the age of 6 or 7, me and all the neighborhood kids would play after school. So I would go outside at like 3:30 on the dot, and all the neighborhood kids would get together, and we would all go to this little park right up the street, like No adults with us, just all of us kids, like in a little gang, going to the park, playing with each other, cracking jokes, just having a great old time. And it was one of the most one of the most fun parts of my childhood was playing with these neighborhood kids. I still remember all of their names, but I don't remember their last names. Jackie, Anthony, Rocky. We would all like go to my friend's house and we would watch Ed, Ed and Eddie, and it was just such a simple time. We would have water gun fights outside in the park.
I think I remember one memory that I have a good memory when I was little.
Yeah.
And it was me dancing to a song with my shirt off. This was before I had boobs. Okay, obviously. But Nelly's hot in here.
Oh my
And
god.
I fucking loved it. I'm just dancing. I think, that's a good memory, but I was really young. I know I was really young. But I always remember that, and I tell that story because I remember me dancing in the living room, dancing. I'm just like, woo! Like, flipping out my shirt and shit. Like,
just being a kid.
yeah.
You
There was other kids there, but from 7 and under, like, I didn't live in, like, the trailer park that I grew up in, so my memories were very scattered. Like, I was very here and there. Like, I wasn't in, like, a permanent home for a long, like...
Some people do have very scarce memories of their childhood. I'm not one of those people that I remember.
But, like, we were living in an apartment, and we lived here and there. Like, after I lived in the trailer park, I was there consistently. So it's a lot easier to remember. And I was about 8 years old when I moved in there. So it's like before that, I have like smaller memories. If I saw a picture, it would remind me, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also a fond memory, we used to go to Stone Lake, which is like similar to East Fork, which is near us.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like my mom's, he's now, what is it, he's now no longer with us. He was like my father, I guess you would say. He wasn't my real dad, but like he was like a father like figure to me. And we would all go down to the lake, him, and then he had family, and they were my family, and they were my cousins, and we'd all go and have a picnic and go swimming all the time. And we went camping a lot.
That's beautiful.
So I did a lot of outdoor stuff growing up, for sure.
That sounds so special. See, like, this is connecting to your root chakra right now. It's like reconnecting with your childhood, your creative self, reconnecting with these memories. That's what we're doing. That's what these questions are kind of invoking here.
What caused you to feel spaced out the last time you could not keep focused?
I would say feeling spaced out. That literally was just me a few weeks ago. I literally felt like I couldn't focus on anything. And it was having this elevated energy of not being able to calm down and regulate my energy. And I was just like high alert all the time. Like nonstop cleaning, cooking, working on the podcast, going to work. Couldn't sleep because my energy was so elevated. And doing that sound bath and also doing more walks in nature, I have been trying to do that like several times a week now. So I'm trying to go to the gym 2-3 times a week. And I'm trying to go for a walk another 2 times a week. I literally got the other day on Friday because I mowed the lawn and I worked all day. I got 21,000 steps in. And it felt good. I don't even know how I just got on this topic. Sorry, I don't even think this relates to the question. But I guess me feeling spaced out, like I felt like I couldn't focus. That was me.
Maybe that's your way of answering the question. I don't know. That's the way you perceive the question.
Me working through that, and now I can focus. I can read. I can make videos.
And spaced out.
Yeah. What about you?
I guess what caused me to feel spaced out the last time I could not keep focused, which is fucking all the time. That's like every day of my life. So let's just recount a recent. It's usually when my mind is fucking crazy, which is like in the morning, and I'm trying to do multiple things at once, and I'm trying to do this thing where I tackle a couple and I make it a task like, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to do only these two because if I put all these things in my head, then I'm not going to get any of them done because there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll lose focus. And then I'll end up doing something else. It really is those videos you see online. Like, I am that ADHD video. Like, where I'll be like, see this, I'll start this, I'm like, and I'll see that, and I'm like, oh, and then I'll stop that, and then I'll go to this. And I really just need to tone in and focus on one task because I try to give myself too many. And I still do it. But I stays where I get better. I'll be better about it.
I love I have ADHD medication. You probably know what that is. That stuff helps me so much to regulate and hone in my focus. And for some people, it doesn't help,
It helped
understandably.
my focus, but it unhelped other things about me.
Honestly, I love it, and
It had just weird side effects for me.
some people are different. I can't do without it at this point.
Like, you can still talk and have a normal conversation. I couldn't.
Sometimes I can literally take my ADHD meds and go to sleep. That's how I know that I literally need the medication. Like, it literally will mellow me out.
Yeah, it
Like,
definitely helped me focus for sure. I got more stuff done. I was able to focus in on things, but you know what? I'm just taking it day by day. Woohoo!
it's not for everybody. But next question. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your 5-year-old self?
Well, this is a big one. I don't know. I guess to not. Well, the things I've been through, I've learned obviously, but to not waste time on people who don't give you the same energy back that you give them. And it's okay to do it for a little bit, but not too long because you're just wasting so much time on people that take away time in your life. And it's because you want them to be good. Like, I've been in a few relationships and they've not been good for me. And I tried to make the best of them. And me waiting, I wasted freaking time and put out all my good energy. And realistically, you lose a lot of energy. And it takes time to recoup that energy that you give out that you're not getting back. I mean, it's real. So it took me years and years to just be more 100% for sure. But to not waste time on people that don't give you the same energy back, because fucking sake, do I not give energy back to people now? Because even relationship, like someone I'm dating, friendships, it could be anything. I just don't give it back if it's not given to me.
Well, if I could go back and tell my 5-year-old self anything, I could just go back and say anything to her. I was so carefree as a 5-year-old kid. I was really, truly innocent, and I would play with my toys, and I had no concept of having a job or like any like dream. Like, I was just like living in the moment. Like, I was just so innocent, and in a way, my son's not 5 years old. He's only like 1.5. But like, I see part of myself in him, like his playfulness. And it's honestly, watching him grow up is like healing me in a way. I need to learn how to deal with him better. There's been times lately where I've noticed myself get very frustrated with him for just being a baby. And that's me. That's not his fault. That's me. And I was literally just saying this last night to my husband, that I feel like I do this. I feel like I get irritated at him. And it really is just like overstimulation at its finest. Like, you get overstimulated and you just get kind of, everything is bothering me, sensory
That would be me for
issues.
sure. That's also a fear of mine.
There's been multiple times where I've had to like step outside and like literally just stand on the grass, like just regulate my emotions, just breathe. Everything's fine right now. He's just being a baby, and sometimes babies whine.
You
They
just
go
have to
through
take a
that phase.
step back and remind yourself. Sometimes it's like you're in the moment and you're just like, oh, you know what I mean? And it's just like to say it out loud, or to like think it and be like, okay, like I understand this. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. He's just being a baby. That's all this is. I think it's just speaking it or thinking it and reminding yourself sometimes, because you just get stuck in that freaking thought process and it's hard.
And you know, like, this thing is getting really personal, and I honestly might start crying as I say this, because I guess this is opening up something within me. I'm sitting here in my lotus pose. I'm answering these questions like very honestly and very genuinely. And it's almost like I can imagine my 5-year-old son, what I would say to him, you know, when he's 5 and he's just creative and learning about the world. Such like a ball of light and energy. It's beautiful to see. And if I could go back to my 5-year-old self, never lose your creative spark.
Never lose that young self inside of you. Keep that don't grow up too quick. It's okay to be
Kids, especially kids who are loved and, you know, like their families make them feel loved, there's like a spark in their eyes. Like, I never want my son to lose that. Ever. And I feel like there was a time where I lost that spark. And emotions ebb and flow, just as life does. So I would just tell my younger self, my 5-year-old self, that, you know, don't stress out about the things that you can't change. Everything's going to change around you as you grow up. Just remember that your energy is sacred and you should do whatever you can to protect that innocent, childlike spirit and harness that for the rest of your life. Because once you lose that creative spark, that childhood playfulness, you lose that soul part of you. And I feel like a lot of people are very disconnected from that part of themselves. Like, they're just like, a kid. Like, I'm not a kid anymore.
Like, don't let
I'm an
them
adult.
rip away that light of you inside of you.
Yeah, like some people, they can't dance. They can't dance because they're too worried about what people are thinking about them. And like, they're just too worried about like, what are they going to think about me and whatever. And like, when I'm dancing, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. I
I'm
don't
in my
care.
own bubble.
Like, I am moving my energy in a way that it's like I'm being controlled by the beat, like literally. And some people can't get out of their head and into their body.
They don't know how to do that.
And that, getting into your body is that playfulness. Being able to play, being able to not care about what others think. Like, you're just doing your own thing. And that's a childhood creative, like playfulness. So, I guess that's what I would tell my younger 5-year-old self. So, that was a whole mouthful.
I can resonate with that as well.
Yeah.
Just like, don't lose who you are, like, as your younger self, because you grow up and you think all these things, like you said, you don't want to be embarrassed, but you can't. Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to see half these people again. Like, you can't think of life like to be embarrassed. So, and worry about what others think of you.
Yeah. What is your next question?
What childhood pastime do you wish you could enjoy more often as an adult? Sometimes I don't even know if I can answer the questions. I'm trying to think of what I could answer, but
Childhood pastime.
what is it? What childhood pastime do you wish you could enjoy more often as an adult?
Reading. I was such a reader.
Me too.
I loved reading.
I read a lot. I read Twilight books in like a week or two, the whole series.
See, I loved reading, and reading sent me into like this like imaginative place. I always read, but as an adult, I've read a lot less. But this year specifically, especially because I started my podcast, I am reading more. So I feel like I am now embracing that inner child that I had, because I am reading because I'm inspired to read by doing these podcasts. It's work, but it's inspiring.
I agree. The reading would be my answer too. I wouldn't have thought of that unless you said that though. But yeah, I read a lot, and I wouldn't even have, I wouldn't even have had the answer. But I agree. I read a lot. I read a lot.
Same.
Like, I read Harry Potter books.
I was obsessed with Hunger Games. I read it so many times. I read it like 7 times.
I read a lot of books, dude.
I loved
I don't know why
books.
I stopped.
It's just because as an adult you kind of like lose that spark of.
And then we also were going into the era of like digital, and like I was like in that age of transferring from like audio or from paper to audio, and like videos, and I was watching YouTube. And
this one guy who I met at the bar a few weeks ago literally said, because I was like, do you watch movies? He goes, hell no. I'm like, why? He said, I got the TikTok brain. I can't watch anything unless it's 15 seconds long. I'm not kidding. So you don't watch movies or TV? And he goes, I don't even have a TV anymore. I sold my TV because I realized I don't need TV. I just look at my phone. And I'm like, what do you do before bed? And he goes, I just scroll until I can't scroll anymore. And I'm like, oh my God.
Ew.
I need TV to help decompress. There was many years of my life that I didn't watch TV because I thought it was bad. But Eric actually kind of like come around to it more. I always felt guilty for watching TV and like I should be doing something else with my time. And he was just basically telling me that This is just so existential right now. I'm not kidding. This was like in like 2019 or 2020. I was a spazoid. Could not watch TV. I wanted to go out and be doing shit 24/7. I never slept. I was just a party animal. And my man finally was just like, why can't you just sit down and watch TV with me? I can't because I just can't focus on it. Like, I should be doing something else. And he said, we're all gonna die one day, okay? We're all going to die. You should just watch some TV with me. Like, it's not gonna kill you. It's good for you to rest your mind and just not think. He's like, you don't have to watch TV all day, every day, 24 hours a day. But he was like, having like an hour or two of TV, yes, it is programming, depending on what you're watching. But you can use that to get you in a decompressed state where you're not really in your mind and you're just kind of absent of thought, which can be good. So it just depends on what you're watching. If you're watching something that induces anxiety, maybe you should watch something that's less anxiety inducing on the TV.
Mm.
Maybe watch some Bob Ross paint some mountains and some trees and some bushes in the trees.
Fucking Bob Ross can suck my dick. I'm just kidding, Bob Ross. I love you.
So, our next question is, when have you felt spiritual guidance recently?
Um, spiritual guidance. Can you word it differently in your own way to me?
So spiritual guidance. So having somebody maybe reference your spiritual growth, or maybe you're in an environment where you feel like you have felt something spiritual.
When I was on my vacation in Hawaii, that was the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
So like the deities.
And you felt
like
like you had like some kind of like good luck channeled to you.
It was just consistent. It was just consistent. Like I was just like, what did I deserve? And then like one of the locals was like, you brought this good aura and energy to the island, and it gave back to you.
That's beautiful.
But I don't really know. Is that like
that is definitely some type of like spiritual guidance. That's some outsourced kind of
basically thing. To continue to do what you're doing, essentially, right? And whatever you're doing, you're not in, oh my god, you're not in the bad path, like, and I don't know, like, feel like I could bring good energy. So it's like, I don't know, I feel very grateful and very just happy. Yeah, I'm saying humbling for sure.
You know, there is this book that I was listening to this book for the purpose of doing this podcast episode. And this book is on Audible, and it's called Eastern Body, Western Mind by Enodia Judith. And this book is extremely long. And by long, I mean, hold on. I need to see how long this is. Why is it not showing? I probably listened to only 2 hours out of the 15 hours. So let's just say it's a really long book. And in this book, I haven't even finished listening to it. I'm only in the first part of it. But it was talking about, I guess, emotional trauma and grievances, and I guess during this week learning about my root chakra, I felt like I was receiving some sort of spiritual guidance, call it my spiritual guides, call it the universe kind of bringing this to me through the research, whatever you want to call it. I felt like I was being led to kind of like notice certain behavior patterns within myself that I can improve on, and to balance my root chakra, which is most definitely imbalanced. And I feel like during this research, I have started even slowly changing certain behaviors of mine just to help make me feel more at peace. And I am more at peace. To be honest, last night, I had one of the best trips of my life. I'm not kidding. It was very intense at first.
You
it was
went on
very
a vacation?
Hard. Yeah. I went on a rocket ship on a trip. And
I'm really high. Just kidding.
It was super beautiful, and it was really hard at first, but it ended up like mellowing out to the point where like I was not in my mind anymore, but I was in my body. and I was totally at peace, and I could see people's energy, and I could feel the energy that they were giving off, and still, like, I feel like I've had an entire brain reset. I'm not kidding. And I felt like through the course of this week, I have received some sort of spiritual release, and I just feel better. So I feel like I have had some sort of spiritual guidance through learning about my root chakra, learning how to balance it, deep cleaning my house, making sure that my house feels like a safe, clean environment. All of these things together has really helped clear the clutter in my mind. So I guess that's my answer on that. So what is your next question?
When in your life have you had to change your environment in order to succeed, and how did you do so?
So changing my environment in order to succeed, that's literally what I was just talking about with like cleaning my house. So when you live in a space that is like super cluttered and dirty, and you are just kind of like living in like filth, I feel like especially any parent can relate to this. It's really hard to keep your house clean with a toddler, and it is not for the faint of heart. But once you do have that clean house, your energy does feel like the environment around you just feels better. You feel lighter. You don't feel like it's hard enough to like focus or cook dinner because it's like everything's clean, you know what I mean? So like making sure that your environment is a safe space, and also by safe of clutter, and making it feel, lighting a candle, putting on some incense, maybe putting on some calming music like 432 hertz. Like creating this environment can most definitely contribute to your success. And Kyla, do you have an answer?
I think I have like two, I guess. So, like, I guess I thought of. Well, not really two, so I guess I can kind of put them together. I guess getting your. Okay, so a time in my life when I had to change my environment in order to succeed is getting out of situations that were either mentally or physically not good for me. And by doing that is but just basically becoming aware of the situation and having the ability and power to remove myself from that situation, as it's not always easy. It's easier said than done to remove yourself from certain said situations. So it's like having the power and leaving and becoming stronger from that, because you did it, A, and then B, you're going to grow and learn from that, and then just heal as well if there was anything that happened, and be okay with it.
I feel like that could resonate with a lot of people who are unsafe in their relationships, whether it's family
or a job.
Jobs.
I feel like that is related to me in situations where I've had to leave because it was for the better of me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it either instantly and you got to get out of there, or it takes you a little bit. And that's fine, but the better and quicker you realize it, the better for your sake and your mental health and everything, because you might not realize it until later.
As long as you're making decisions, once you actively become aware that the situation is no longer serving you, you start taking steps to exit. Whether it takes a long time or not, at least you recognize
you're aware. That's the awareness.
The path of awareness.
That's the most important thing of it all. Because some people aren't aware of it and they want to be in denial.
Did you have another one, or?
I said I put them together because they were kind of similar. Because it's like getting yourself out of a situation, whether it be from a job or in a relationship.
Oh, true. Yeah, because you have been through both.
Yes, and I resonate with them both, and they kind of are similar because it's me removing myself from that situation and me being aware that it's not healthy for me to be there. For my mental state, because sometimes you don't always acknowledge your bad mental state because you're in your flight or fight mode and you don't take care of yourself. And then when you finally are, you're like, well, fuck, I got some time.
Yeah, I resonate with that. And I feel like a lot of you guys can too. We're going to go to our next question. We are only going to do a couple more. We're going to try to do as much as we can, but we do need to have Easter with our families today. So, I mean, I'm having Easter dinner with my family. I still have to go home and do all of those things. So we are going to do a few more questions here, and we really hope that this episode has been therapeutic for you as it has been for us, because we have both learned new things about, I guess, each other and ourselves. Like, we're answering these questions as genuinely and as personal as possible. So we hope you enjoy what you are learning. So our next question: when is the last time that you felt disconnected from someone, and how did you fix the issue? So when was the last time you felt disconnected from someone, and how can you fix it, or how did you fix the issue?
Disconnected. The way that if I felt disconnected with somebody, and how did I fix the issue? I would try to do something that we both like potentially together, and maybe be able to talk about it in a comfortable environment rather than like holding it in, I guess. I don't
Always feel this disconnectedness from everyone and everything at times, and sometimes I truly feel like no one can really understand me, and I feel entirely alone. Like, literally, like, I've even told Kyla I felt this before. Like, sometimes I feel like she can't understand me, my husband can't understand me, like, my family doesn't understand me, and I just feel like very alone. And Kyla will be like, like, I'm here for you, like, I want to talk to you. And sometimes I deal with my problems by, I guess, like, turning inward and just kind of like, journaling my thoughts, and it makes me feel like I'm not so alone. So I guess that's just one way that I have dealt with being disconnected from everyone and everything. It's like almost like this disassociation. Like, I feel like I can't relate to people. I feel like I don't fit in. I feel like
so
I'm just like
think about it that way.
separate. Like, I'm just like not very like connected to like everyone else. Like, sometimes I feel like I am separate, but I'm not. We are all part of the collective consciousness. But
Yeah, I think I can understand that though. Like, I guess I didn't think of it that way. I needed you to answer it first. But I guess being disconnected as in like when someone acts like they want to hear when you're talking, and then like when you're talking they don't seem very interested, and then you feel disconnected, like what you're saying wasn't worth listening to, and then you feel, you know what I mean? And then eventually you just like don't want to talk to people sometimes because of it.
because people aren't listening and they're just like on their phones, like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but
That's
then I
crazy.
listen to you. I make sure not to look at my phone. I'll put my phone down. So I definitely feel disconnected with people sometimes because they're so absorbed in their phone. I guess I didn't think of it that way, but that happens all the time. But I try not to put myself in that situation because it does upset me.
Yeah, like if she like notices that they're not paying attention, you're probably just like, whatever. Like,
I'm
I'm
not
just
even gonna fucking finish what I'm saying.
not gonna waste your breath on somebody who doesn't care and is disconnected. So
I guess that is a better answer for sure.
well, now Kyla is going to ask the next question.
When was the last time you felt a strong sense of compassion for someone you did not know well? This can be like a girlfriend that you met or something, you know?
Hold on, say your question again.
When was the last time you felt a strong sense of compassion for someone that you did not know well?
I guess
It could be people you meet when you're on vacation.
I guess the one time that's like really coming to me is when I was pregnant and I was part of a drum circle. I'm still part of that drum circle to this day. And while I was pregnant, around Christmas time, this was like a month before I gave birth, or maybe it was just a few weeks before I gave birth. But there was a light in the community, a light that went out, and it shocked everyone. And this woman had passed away due to mental illness. And her, I guess, separated spouse, they were not living together, but they were separated, but they were working on their issues separately. Okay. And I guess her living alone was not the best option for her, which nobody knew that at the time. When she had very suddenly passed away, it really made me. I cried for days. I wanted my son to meet her one day. She was a beautiful human, and I felt so much compassion for her life, everybody affected by her in her lifetime. Her her selflessness, her light, her energy was transformative to any room, any space. And I felt so much compassion for the pain that she had endured in this life to make her think that there was no other option than to try to escape. Mental health is truly something that people struggle with. And if you are struggling, I hope that I hope that you at least have one person that you can reach out to. And I still have so much compassion for her to this day. Like, her energy still remains in the circle. It's palpable.
That's really special.
It's like this compassion, I guess, for her life, and it's inspiring, and it makes me, like, she had that childlike play that I was talking about. She was so connected to, like, playfulness. And I guess that's one of the most recent times that I did feel that, like, deep compassion for somebody.
Okay.
And her husband, who I'm still actually good friends with to this day. We actually talk on the regular. So once a month we check in and, how are you? How are you doing? How's your son? You know,
I love that.
I try to see him at drum circles, and yeah.
That's nice to keep in touch with people.
Yeah. Do you have an answer?
Well, I probably can't talk really much about it, but probably one of my clients slash friends that I work for, they're one of their family members, mom, the mother, just her talking to me about a lot of stuff that she had gone through. And not everybody could do what she did, you know what I mean? Like, to raise somebody that has like a disability or some type of, difference, it can be challenging at times, right? Mm-hmm. So just the things that she had went through were more physical and also mental, and she did it alone, and I praise her for not. She's just so strong for it. I mean, truthfully. And I wouldn't tell anybody like at work or anything like exactly what happened, because it's just like, it was really personal. Like, she just confided in me. Like, at work on the transportation route, I was late back to work and everything because she was confiding. But I couldn't just like walk away or like drive away and end it. Like, she had no one to tell, she don't really have nobody to talk to. It was obvious. So I really felt for her. Just like being alone, and not having that support and that help. So I just really had a lot of, I still feel it. I was like, that's a lot. And I applaud her for being such a strong person and being able to do it, and happy that she's in a better place now than what she was. So
that's good.
Yeah. But that was literally not even that long ago. She probably told me this.
That's very interesting. It's good to feel compassionate towards other people.
I always fucking do. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Empaths.
I always be feeling bad after I do something I might think I did wrong.
Wait, did I read the last question or did you?
I read it.
Okay. So we're going to do one more question and then we're going to end it. What is a recent occurrence where you had a hard time of letting go of something, and how did you finally let go?
Did you pick this on purpose?
No.
You know I have a hard time letting go of anything.
This was the first question that, like,
I know,
me.
I know. I'm just saying, it's like, this is literally, I have the biggest problem with, like, specifically in the moment. It's very hard for me to let go of a situation, something that might have just happened, why it happened, why I can't fix it. I cannot let it go. But sometimes I will just either smoke. I'll smoke some weed because that'll calm my mind down. It always helps me with my overthinking. If it's with somebody, like, I can't get through, I'll take a step back and I'll remove myself from the situation because it's not going to stop. It's not going to get fixed. We need a moment. I need to reset my brain because it's just going in a loop. I need to do something else to focus myself off of it because it gets bad.
I feel like I get caught up in the emotions as well, and
it's hard to remind yourself.
I have an easy time letting go once the situation is over. Like, I'm not one of those people that live in the past. So, like, something happens in the past, I do my best not to dwell on it. I do my best not to, like, really weigh myself down and be upset by my actions and stuff because, like, I was really just doing what I knew to do in the moment. But I can treat those moments as a learning experience. But when it comes to letting go, I do have a hard time letting go of bad things that have happened to me. And I try to go back in my mind and try to overanalyze the situation at times. Like, especially when I'm trying to go to bed and I'm in, like, insomniac at times. So there's times where I'm trying to go to bed and I'm remembering the situation and I'm like, oh, you could have done this differently. You could have done this differently. You could have done this differently. And then finally I have to get to a point in my brain where I'm just like, stop. Because revisiting the situation as many times as I have done in the past, it's not helpful. It's not.
I think it's the core of it is with both of those things is you want to control every situation and you can't, and you wish it had gone the way you wanted it, and it's such a hard fact to face, and it's like hard to like, oh, that happened, that's the way it is, and that's that. But you can't come to terms with it sometimes. You can't because you wish you could have had control of that situation in that moment.
One thing,
you know what I mean?
One thing that I really do need to start doing is when I am caught up in anger, especially like in the middle of an argument, I do need to walk away because
That helps me greatly.
Yelling and trying to get your point across, that's your ego being inflated, and it's not helping anything in the situation to try to yell and raise your voice to get your point across. So one thing that I realize, especially when it comes to letting go of a situation, letting go of the anger, the frustration, the anxiety, just stepping away for a minute and just coming back when I am level-headed and I'm not so caught up in my emotions.
I have to step away sometimes because it will literally keep going. My brain will keep going unless someone snaps me out of it or I snap myself out. So I have to like remove myself sometimes. And this doesn't happen as often, but I swear to you, I feel like it used to happen a lot more. But I've learned and gotten better, but like I said, I got out of awful not good relationships, and I learned to deal with myself because I was able to finally focus on that rather than flight or fight, mode. So, yeah.
Well, if you have enjoyed this episode, I seriously thank you for sticking around and for being part of this journey that we are starting with balancing our chakras, with raising your consciousness to become a better person, not for just yourself, but for others around you. So, in conclusion, the chakra system is your inner compass, and the chakras are more than just energy centers. They are a living map of your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And from the grounding force of the root chakra to the cosmic connection of the crown chakra, each wheel spins a story, and when blocked, you are not in flow and you're not ready to grow. So we believe that these energy hubs, when experiencing that intention through breath, movement, or sound, we are not just healing ourselves, but we are aligning ourselves to the ancient rhythms of life itself. So, with the Kundalini serpent power coiled at the base of your spine is waiting to ignite, and it's awakened through bliss or psychotic kind of like breaks. And it's a revolution of consciousness. So remember that the sacred fire demands respect. Without a strong foundation, the root chakra, the Kundalini's surge can feel chaotic, and instead of liberating, you can feel unprepared. So make sure that you purify your body and your mind before trying to attempt to open the Kundalini energy within you. So let's come back home to the root. So The root chakra is the anchor in the chaotic world. And when the root chakra is balanced, you don't just survive, but you thrive. And you trust the earth has your back. When it's blocked, you experience a lot of fear. And if you're trying to chase enlightenment and you're craving stability, never underestimate the power of standing firm in your body and in your mind, and that you do have a right to be here and to feel safe in your own body. And feeling safe in your own body is going to cause your highest vibrations to grow and for you to be able to embrace your deepest roots. So here's a closing thought. The journey upward begins inward, so stay grounded, stay curious, and let your energy rise when it's ready. Don't force it. So hit that comment button and tell us what chakra you are working on right now. And whether you're working on the root or you're working on the heart or the throat chakra, whatever, we will get to the other ones eventually. But if you loved this episode and you think that this episode could be of help to someone, share it. Especially if it resonated with you deeply and you're like, hey, you should listen to this. Maybe this will help you think differently about the situation that you're currently in. So until next time, keep staying rooted. And remember, keep it chatty.
Keep it nice and keep it sweet, because we will not be keeping it short, obviously.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Bye.
And we hope you had a happy Easter.
Let's say Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. And happy tilly tally woolies.
Bye.
E-I-E-I-O.